landscaping to must-have deals on hand tools and workwear. It's all in the Screwfix winter sale. Shop now on the app at screwfix.com or in-store. Don't miss out. End 7th of January. Screwfix, the choice of champions. While stocks last, visit screwfix.com for delivery charges and restrictions.
You'll only remember that sound if you're from the 90s, a time when the World Wide Web was still taking off. Dial-up was the thing, and McDonald's started cracking only free-range eggs, fresh every day, to use in all our McMuffins. It's just one of the little changes McDonald's have been constantly making to the way we source our food over the years. McDonald's. Change a little, change a lot.
In sport, what's just as important as the goals, the glory, the roar of the crowd? Yes, it's the half-time break. Time for a breather, a reset, to keep everything on track. In sports betting, Betfair's safer gambling tools help you do that too. Like timeouts, so you take that all-important half-time break. Or deposit limits, to help you keep count. Manage your play at safergambling.betfair.com. Simple ways to stay on top of your game with Betfair.
18 plus begambleaware.org. Monday game night on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Rent from the best lineup in the UK. Enterprise has 450 branches with all the vehicles your business needs.
TalkSport Podcast League. Outspoken, the best of White and Jordan.
Radio's sharpest sports debate, triple distilled into one unmissable daily download.
How much of a game changer is this going to be?
White versus Jordan, now with added time.
We want to see a proper fight.
A sublime strike partnership of White.
Give us your gut feeling.
And Shade.
Players aren't good enough, coach isn't good enough, board isn't good enough.
Outspoken.
Now that's hard, isn't it? That's harsh.
Out now.
You can only be offended if you choose to be.
Listen or download for free from your favourite podcast portal.
We've got live Premier League action on the way here at Anfield for you. The Reds smell blood in the hunt for the title. Beat Newcastle tonight and they will move 3 points clear, and all the conversation will move towards the possibility of becoming English champions for the 20th time. Let's get a recap of the team news here tonight with Sam Matterface.
And Jurgen Klopp is able to shuffle his pack. 4 changes from the side that beat Burnley on Boxing Night. Alisson is the goalkeeper. Trent Alexander-Arnold is the right back. Ibrahima Konate joins Virgil van Dijk in defence with Joe Gomez at left back. In midfield, Szoboszlai, Wataru Endo, who's been a big influence on that midfield, and Curtis Jones. And then Salah, Darwin Nunez and Luis Diaz lead the attack. Few changes for Newcastle, have been hit by injuries already to so many key players, but another 2, Wilson and Trippier, are going to be out for a little while now as well. Dubravka is the goalkeeper. Livramento comes in for Trippier, the captain at right back. So Cher, Botman and Dan Burn, who now wears the armband. Lewis Miley, Bruno Guimaraes and Sean Longstaff in midfield, with Joel Linton and Anthony Gordon, who makes his 100th Premier League appearance, alongside Alexander Isak in attack.
Sam, thank you very much. Before we discuss what's been going wrong for Newcastle so far this season, let's quickly head over to Ali Pally with the latest from the PDC World Darts Championship. Here's TalkSport's Ian Danter.
And the third quarter-final is well and truly underway, and the first set conceded by Michael van Gerwen in these championships. Scott Williams from Boston in Lincolnshire has taken the first set in this quarter-final by 3 legs to zip. Van Gerwen had 7 goes at a double and didn't convert. He was very close to getting a 1-3-2 out shot, but Williams prevailed. He took double 16 to win the first set. As I say, that's the first set that Van Gerwen has lost in these championships. It's a race to 5 sets to go through to the semi-finals, and you'll hear all the action unfolding live right now over on TalkSport 2.
Ian, thank you very much. Well, Newcastle come to Anfield tonight trying to spark their season into life. 4 defeats in their last 5 league matches doesn't make for great reading after their 4th place finish last season and that return to the Champions League for the first time in 20 years. So far this campaign's been a bit of a nightmare for the Magpies, but they're hoping for a dream year in 2024 starting here tonight. Let's look ahead to the action in the Premier League with Now.
Stay ahead of the game on TalkSport with Now. Stream all the Sky Sports action like Liverpool versus Newcastle live tonight for $11.99, no contract. Search Now Sports, 18 plus, stream via internet, terms apply.
I'm Hugh Croft, alongside me here at Anfield, the former Newcastle defender Stuart Pearce, and joining us live on TalkSport, Lee Ryder, the Chronicle's chief Newcastle writer, is here. Happy New Year, how are you? How are you feeling about tonight's game?
Nervous. I've been here a lot of times and we haven't won in 30 years in the Premier League, so we haven't got the greatest record, so yeah, tough one tonight.
We see the injuries as well. 2 more to add to the list. Kieran Trippier, Callum Wilson not in there tonight. You know, it's turning into one of those nightmare seasons, particularly when it comes to just players missing matches.
Yeah, I mean, it's relentless, and you know, Kieran Trippier was such an important player for Newcastle last season, and at the start of this season he's had a dip in form, and this is typical of his luck, but by the same token he has not been playing well, and I think Eddie Howe had a decision to make. If he played again tonight and made mistakes, I think it would have been difficult for him to justify his selection. But look, try to be positive. The lads who are on there tonight, there's a lot of them back from injury. People like Isak, very important. So let's hope they can end this bad run here.
Just going back to Trippier and his form, maybe it's a team form question as well, really, because he's not the only player who seems to have dropped off slightly. Can you think of the reason? Is it just an individual form thing? Is there a wider issue at hand?
I mean, he's played a lot of football, not only on the domestic front, Champions League, England Internationals, Nations League. Before that, he's played a lot of football, and you know, maybe it is a rest and rotation thing. I know that some people will say, let's not rest players because they want to play in every game, but eventually, I think it can hit you hard.
It's an interesting one, Stuart. What do you listen? Stuart was saying a little bit earlier on, he doesn't quite buy the rest and rotation thing, particularly at this point of the season. It's been a bit of a nightmare for injuries with Newcastle, and I do want to say that that's kind of a reason why they've performed how they are and where they are in the league. The question I asked just before the break, before you came to us, was, has this season been an underachievement? Now, when you measure it against last year, you might say that. Then I can only change it to, was last season overachievement? Maybe this is more what we would have expected from this squad of players.
Yeah, I mean, had Newcastle been sitting in 9th place and on the sort of fringe of those Europa League spots, Europa Conference League spots last season, no problem at all, because they had a relegation campaign the year before. But the bar gets raised and they're in the top 4. I don't think the fans are necessarily kicking off about that. They're very patient fans, they're loyal, they've been through some worse times than this, and tonight you'll see how good they are here, because they always seem to rise to the occasion no matter what the score is at Anfield.
Stuart, what do you think? Underachieving this year or overachieving last?
I think there's a bit of both, Hugh, to be fair. As I say, probably one too many of the players have lost form at a similar sort of time, but listen, Newcastle are not in a bad place. I've always felt as though an additional striker will be helpful to them. Even with Isak and Wilson playing particularly well, they both suffered the odd injury now and then. I always feel as though, and I don't know whether the January transfer window, there'll be a supplement of a striker to come in and share the load with those. And listen, they're a side, they'll come up for air again, make no mistake about that, you know, and the high energy press. I've loved watching Newcastle, especially at St James's. At St James's, they've done so well with the aggressive press that they do. Maybe that's sort of unsustainable, you know, over a long season as well.
Does that mean maybe Eddie Howe needs to tweak things tactically in your mind?
Look, I think he's got a way of a system of playing. I've asked him many times, does he come here and park the bus? He says no. He doesn't want to go back on that philosophy. He's spoken about the Newcastle way, he's spoken about the Kevin Keegan manner of football. He understands what the fans are looking for, but ultimately it's a results-driven business, and I think there'd be some people, if they did park the bus here tonight and nick a point, you know, would they complain?
I just want to turn a positive slant to you now. Miley, he's been an outstanding, once again, he's in the starting lineup. We talk about players being tired, rotating young kids and all this. Eddie's put him in the team, stuck with him, and the kid looks way beyond his years.
Absolutely, and he, for me, has been the highlight in this bad run. As you say, positive. And, you know, I would go as far as say he's almost carried the team in a way, because the one win we've got in the last 8 games was against Fulham. He came off the bench when he'd had a little rest, and he got his first Premier League goal. So, look, he's, as you say, he's more than composed on that big stage. He'll relish a night like this, and I think that's a real big positive for the fans. I think absolutely spot on.
into the January transfer window. How much money do Newcastle have to spend? They've obviously invested heavily in the past couple of seasons, and do you think Eddie Howe will be keen to bring in new faces?
Well, I think FFP is a factor he's already spoken about. I don't think there's going to be bucket loads to spend. I think there will be enough to bring in a cash signing if they need to, but I think they're also looking heavily into the loan market. Calvin Phillips has been mentioned. If you can get him on loan from Man City, that would be a huge step forward. But ultimately, they spent a lot of money in the last window on Sandro Tonali, who can't play, he's banned, and Harvey Barnes has been injured and he's coming back, so I think they'll want to give him a chance to get back. I do think they'll strike in the window, but in which area we have to wait and see.
Well, that was going to be my next question. As a fan watching the games, you know, journalists reporting, is there an area that you feel needs work?
Well, I mean, Callum Wilson picking up the injury, he's out for 2 games, looks like he's going to miss the derby now. I would like to see another striker. I mean, all fans will say they want to see strikers come in. Someone who can be perhaps a younger striker, who can add a bit of competition to those areas. That would be a good place to start. But then the goalkeeping situation, if Dubravka gets injured, then you've got only 2 more senior goalkeepers left. That needs to be looked at as well, probably.
We spoke about Aaron Ramsdale a little bit earlier on of Arsenal and a potential move. Is he someone that you think Eddie Howe would want to bring in? Because our conversation earlier was around, look, Nick Pope's been very good for this football team.
Yeah.
You know, Ramsdale comes in, you've almost got the same problem that Ramsdale was in at Arsenal with David Raya. You know, 2 very, very strong goalkeepers going for one place.
Yeah, I mean, look, it would be a nice problem to have. I know Eddie Howe's a huge fan of Ramsdale. He'd be welcomed here. He obviously probably needs an arm around him, not playing at Arsenal, so that wouldn't be the worst signing in the January window, put it that way. So, yeah, the goalkeeping situation, I mean, centre back as well, could be another area he looks at. I'm probably playing fantasy football a little bit here, but there are areas that need strengthening. But Eddie Howe has said all options are open to him.
At least when you think about the loan market, Newcastle under Eddie Howe and what has been happening over the last year and a half or so, an exciting place for a player to come and play, even if it's for 6 months. You get to play at St James's Park, you get to play in a front-footed team who can produce results when everyone is fit in particular. So a very different place to come than the one that was in the mire in a relegation battle, 2 years ago now. Just before you leave us, Lee, I've got to ask you, the first time we're Derby since 2016 at the weekend, we're going to have the match live here on TalkSport as part of a massive FA Cup 3rd round this year, going away to the Stadium of Light. Firstly, do you think Eddie Howe rests a lot of his players given the injury problems that he's had this season? And if he does that, how do you think it affects what the result might be?
Well, it would be a huge decision to rest anybody for that game because the importance of that fixture in the North East. Newcastle haven't been able to play Derby because Sunderland have been in a different division. But for me, we don't know when you're going to play Sunderland again next, so you want to at least sign off on that fixture with a victory on we're side. I think Eddie Howe has to take all that into consideration and play the strongest team he can.
I totally agree on that one. I don't think you're going to fall. Plus, on the back of that as well, you've got a situation where the team have got a week off, I think, or whatever. So you can rest players, let them put their feet up, give them a week off, but you cannot afford to do that on the back of a Sunderland defeat.
Yeah, it would just leave a huge hangover on the whole season.
Yeah.
But the way it's been going, it would probably end up being a replay and we'd go back to St James's Park, so that'd be fun.
I'd love it, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, it might have the nerve jangling for the Newcastle fans, particularly late on at the Stadium of Light, but if we got to a replay, I think I'd absolutely love it. Should be a fantastic game of the weekend. Hoping for a great game here tonight as well. Lee Ryder, the Chronicle's chief Newcastle writer, thank you so much for joining us here on TalkSport. That was a look ahead to tonight's Premier League action with Now. Don't forget, with Now, you can stream all the Sky Sports action. Liverpool against Newcastle tonight live for £11.99 with no contract. Just search Now Sports.
Stay ahead of the game on TalkSport with Now. Stream all the Sky Sports action like Liverpool versus Newcastle live tonight for £11.99, no contract. Search Now Sports, 18 plus, stream via internet, terms apply.
Let's quickly head to Alexandra Palace, a battle for a place in the semi-finals at the PDC World Darts Championship. We can get the latest from TalkSport's Ian Danter.
And it's Michael Van Gerwen 1, Scott Williams 1, so MVG equalises in a race to 5 sets to get through to the semi-finals, taking out an 81 checkout to get that set back, but he's still not particularly good on his doubles. He's only hit 3 of 15 attempts at double so far, MVG. Later on tonight, Dave Chisnell takes on Luke Humphries for the other semi-final spot. All the action is live over on TalkSport 2 now.
Ian, thank you very much. You're listening to Game Night on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. We play together. It's terms and conditions applying, of course. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org. Up next, our first Premier League action of 2024. Kickoff between Liverpool and Arsenal is next.
Monday game night on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel.
Morning.
The kids building a treehouse in the garden.
I'm living my perfect childhood.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of June 2022 and 30th of September 2022 is under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Y'all ready for something new? Oh, you thought it was just burgers and fries. They got more flavors than you tasted or you heard in your life. Yep, and it ain't only restaurants anymore. We can go bananas at the grocery store. I'm a bad girl for my takeout. What you need, dude? I could cop a taco. And my sushi trainers on, dude. When you this slick, what you gon' do? Did somebody say just eat?
Get set for the year ahead with the Screwfix Winter Sale. It's on now and packed with savings on trade essentials. From unmissable low prices on power tools, storage and landscaping, to must-have deals on hand tools and workwear. It's all in the Screwfix Winter Sale. Shop now on the app at screwfix.com or in-store. Don't miss out. Ends 7th of January. Screwfix, the choice of champions. While stocks last, visit screwfix.com for delivery charges and restrictions.
Paddington is back in McDonald's Happy Meal. Join him in discovering all the fun of the festive season, like ice skating, pulling crackers, singing songs, and even playing games. But the best thing is, everyone can enjoy the magic with Paddington and Happy Meal. Have a very berry Christmas with Paddington. Some fun, some food, it's all inside this Happy Meal. Until 3rd of January from 11 a.m. Includes one pre-selected book or toy while stocks last. See mcdonalds.co.uk/Happy Meal for detail.
In sport, what's just as important as the goals, the glory, the roar of the crowd? Yes, it's the half-time break. Time for a breather, a reset, to keep everything on track. In sports betting, Betfair's safer gambling tools help you do that too. Like timeouts, so you take that all-important half-time break. Or deposit limits, to help you keep count. Manage your play at safergambling.betfair.com. Simple ways to stay on top of your game with Betfair.
18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Monday game night on TalkSport with Now. Stream all the Sky Sports action like Liverpool versus Newcastle live tonight for $11.99, no contract. Search Now Sports, 18 plus, free via internet, terms apply.
Hark, the goals are calling. Game day.
The epicenter of world-class football coverage.
Game day exclusive New Year's Day special.
On TalkSport.
How quickly things change in the Premier League.
At the start of the season, I had predicted that Newcastle would win the league.
Chris Wood has scored! There is no flag for Newcastle! And Chris Wood fires in! A hat-trick for him! Newcastle in big trouble. It's Newcastle 1, Forest 3.
December was always going to be really tough for us. We're well aware going into the month.
And the pressure just starting to notch up on Newcastle and Eddie Howe. They go to Liverpool on New Year's Day. You are listening to TalkSport, and we are at Anfield.
I think Liverpool's hopes are based on what midfield players they've got playing for them.
Back heel for Thiago, shot over! 2-0, game over! Liverpool are going top of the Premier League.
It's a process, and this team is in the middle of something, and we just try to make the best of it.
There's always drama in football, whoever you support.
What a fixture to launch 2024 in the Premier League. Liverpool can open up a 3-point lead at the top of the table, while Newcastle could secure a first league win at Anfield for nearly 30 years. And the atmosphere here is building very, very nicely. The rain has been teeming down for the past few hours. It continues to go. but yet you sense a really strong atmosphere here as fans take their seats and the noise gets louder and louder. Of course, the big flags away to our right-hand side in the Kop. Absolutely freezing, by the way, but it doesn't mean the shirts aren't off in the Newcastle away end either, because they are making themselves known just as they always do, the travelling Magpies. It should be a great fixture. I'm Hugh Woozencroft alongside Sam Matterface. The former England and Newcastle defender Stuart Pearce is here. And listen, Liverpool starting the year at the top of the table. You know, I think a lot of fans this summer, Stuart, would have thought, with the difficulties they were having in the transfer window, the players that they were missing out on, and the fact that eventually they got players in, but so many new faces, they weren't going to be able to really put a tilt together for the title, and yet here they are. How impressed have you been with their season so far?
Well, very much so. The most impressive thing I'm impressed with, one defeat in 19 matches up to now. Everyone thought City were invincible, and we're halfway through at this moment in time, and they've got daylight between them and City, albeit very tight.
I've got to give credit to Jurgen Klopp here, and I know, listen, it's an easy thing to do. He's now into his 9th year at the club, but key for any coach that's going to stay at a club for a long period of time is reinvention, is creating a new team. Some have dubbed this Liverpool 2.0, but they have found a new direction with some of these younger players. They have found a different style as well, and that has led to them, I think, you know, getting a march on other teams towards the top of the table. The quality of his coaching.
Yeah, I totally agree. He wants a brand of football that's quite pleasing on the eye. I enjoy coming to watch Liverpool play because it's high energy. They try to score a goal no matter what the scoreline is. I always think, you know, they go after the opposition, even late on in games where you think just shut up, sharp shoppers a touch. They don't, they go after things. And listen, I didn't realise he'd been here 9 years. Wow, that's incredible. He gets the fans here. He's in sync with Liverpool as well, and I think that's one of his main strengths.
Recruitment at the club, the support of the manager as well has been absolutely fantastic, Sam. The physical attributes that they've added here, because they do play an intense style of football, but they've added speed, energy, youth, and that has helped them as well.
Yeah, and they needed to, because that was something that was a problem for them last year. You know, Dominic Szoboszlai, I think, had a brilliant impact when he first came into the club. I think his impact waned as the season went on. I think it's really difficult, actually, when you do first come into the Premier League, to try and sustain the level of physicality and energy that's required, especially if you're playing a Jurgen Klopp team. I think a lot of managers now want players to play at such an intensity that it does mean that it takes a physical toll. So you need young legs, and you also require the experience. And it was fascinating to hear Jarell Kansar come out and say that you know, he's benefited from the fact that Joel Matip has been out of the side because of an injury, and he said, but yeah, the truth is I was trying to take his place anyway, because he wants to be in the first team, and he's come in and he's played his part as well. He got a little bit of a slap down from Virgil van Dijk for saying that, but you know, that's what you also need as well.
It was quite ruthless the way he said it.
He was, but he wasn't. But you know, as Virgil van Dijk said, when I was 20, I would have said something like that as well.
Yeah.
The fact is, if you've got hungry players, young players coming into the team that want to push those senior boys as well. So I think they've got a good mix now. I think if they can, I think Jurgen Klopp at the beginning of the season thought he was sort of doing running repairs as he was going along, trying to find his best combination. Wataru Endo has sort of cemented himself as that defensive midfield player now, and there's a good reason why he is there.
Cameras training in on John Barnes, a huge talent here. You think about Mo Salah, we spoke about him a little bit earlier on and the impact he's had on this football club as well. You know, if they can unearth some more stars moving forward, the main thing is, I think, for any club in the Premier League at the top end, not just Liverpool, you know, breaking that conundrum of how do you keep up with City year after year after year after year. You know, they have been relentless, Pep Guardiola's side. You know, that's still the code that they're trying to crack. How do they do that, do you think?
I spoke to Martin Tyler earlier on tonight. He was up here, and he was saying he thought the Premier League this season is a bit like, a bit more competitive than it has been over the course of the last few years, and he doesn't believe that Manchester City are going to roar back in the second half of the season. He thinks he'll continue like this, with people taking points off one another, and we could be in for a really good title race. And I think the way you actually end up taking on Manchester City is making the rest of the league stronger. You have lots of teams that can challenge them because they're the ones that end up taking a point here and there off them over the course of the campaign. Listen, you can't compete with them directly, I don't think, because they're a completely different animal. You can only do what you can do. But if there's more teams trying to do that, the likelihood is that they'll get reeled in.
I think when you look at it, if you look at a direct comparison, how do you take Manchester City on? You know what? You probably don't have to take Manchester City on. What you have to do is be clinical when you take the rest on. Because the reason why Arsenal now have dropped points is because they've lost to West Ham and Fulham. Not because they're taking Manchester City on.
Well, they beat Man City, didn't they?
Exactly that. So the bottom line is, and it's what cost Arsenal last year, if you like, in the title charge, the consistency against the others. So you almost devoid yourself. You only have to play Man City twice in a calendar, in a season.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, you just have to show consistency.
And they have shown incredible consistency, particularly here inside Anfield. You can hear the roar. This atmosphere absolutely unbelievable. 9 games at home in the Premier League so far, 7 wins, 2 draws for Liverpool, and Newcastle coming here, Stuart, after 3 wins, just 3 wins in 12 in all competitions, 4 defeats in their past 5 Premier League games. If you haven't been in a great run and you come somewhere like Anfield, what is the mindset? What goes through your head as you stand in that famous tunnel, as Newcastle are right now?
I think don't concede early. Make very difficult to play against and outwork the opposition. That's what you've got to do. That's no easy task coming to Anfield, I've got to say, and I talk through experience.
Atmosphere will be incredible, and by the way, keep an eye on the dugouts here, because there is no love lost between the camps of Newcastle and Liverpool. Down there on the touchline should provide some fireworks, just like out there on the pitch between these two sides this evening. By the way, a huge week across the TalkSport network. Will be at the London Stadium tomorrow night as West Ham host Brighton in a 7:30 kickoff here on TalkSport exclusively. We're going to have 9 live games from the FA Cup third round for you. All begins at Selhurst Park on Thursday night for Crystal Palace against Everton. We'll be at Spurs versus Burnley on Friday night. Brentford versus Wolves on TalkSport 2 on Friday, and then of course Saturday lunchtime, all roads lead to the Stadium of Light for the Tyne Weir derby. So many games, I can't list them all. You'll find them all on the TalkSport app, that's for sure, this weekend. But we start as the 2 teams come out to the pitch here inside one of football's great arenas for the 2024 curtain raiser in the Premier League. A reminder to all football fans, keep that hope in your heart, and who knows, dreams may well come through. We'll ask a Liverpool everything that we think they are in this title race, hungrier than ever, ready to wrestle back the Premier League title. And a Newcastle, maybe just pretenders. Last season, the exception rather than the rule when it comes to their new era. Your first live and exclusive Premier League commentary here on TalkSport is Liverpool versus Newcastle at Anfield with the former England World Cup defender Stuart Pearce and our chief football commentator Sam Matterface.
For an entire other radio station.
And the thrilling games continue.
The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air. TalkSport 2, because sport never stops.
There ain't no stopping it now.
Get set for more live sport, more incisive pundit comment and opinion, and more Andrew McKenna.
Thank you very much. That'll do.
Sport radio that hits you for 6. TalkSport 2.
Well, that's what ball and he's volleyed. He's dragged it back onto the stumps.
Tackling live Super League action.
Strong and hard and made of steel.
Live commentary of the UEFA Champions League.
Champions of Europe again.
Live Aviva Premiership Rugby.
They must surely score.
Golf coverage that's perfectly pitched.
We're not allowed to cry on radio. We're supposed to be tough.
Serving up live ATP Masters Series tennis.
And Andy Murray, with his head in his hands, goes to congratulate Novak Djokovic.
I'm so happy. TalkSport 2. Live international football.
What a goal!
Get in the ring. Go the distance. TalkSport 2.
And Fury's got it. A unanimous decision.
If you can kick it, hit it, roll it,
Pass it.
putt it, hot it, or catch it. You'll find it right here on TalkSport 2. The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air.
Can they make it 2?
TalkSport 2, because sport never stops. We're sorry, this commentary is not available in your country. Please visit talksport.com/commentaries to hear an alternative stream or listen to TalkSport 2 for even more live sport.
TalkSport has so much sport, we're running out of radio to play it. In fact, we've got enough rugby, cricket, horse racing, boxing, motor racing and golf for an entire other radio station.
And the thrilling games continue.
The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air. TalkSport 2, because sport never stops.
There ain't no stopping it now.
Get set for more live sport, more incisive pundit comment and opinion, and more Andrew McKenna.
Thank you very much. That'll do.
Sport radio that hits you for six. TalkSport 2.
Well, there's one ball and he's volley. He's dragged it back onto the stumps.
Tackling live Super League action.
Strong and hard and made of steel.
Live commentary of the UEFA Champions League.
Champions of Europe again.
Live Aviva Premiership Rugby.
They must surely score.
Golf coverage that's perfectly pitched.
We're not allowed to cry on radio. We're supposed to be tough.
Serving up live ATP Masters Series tennis.
And Andy Murray, with his head in his hands, goes to congratulate Novak Djokovic.
I'm so happy. TalkSport 2. Live international football.
What a goal!
Get in the ring. Go the distance. TalkSport 2.
And Fury's got it. A unanimous decision.
If you can kick it, hit it.
Goal it.
Pass it. Hot it. Hot it. Catch it. You'll find it right here on TalkSport 2.
The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air.
Can they make it two?
TalkSport 2, because sport never stops.
We're sorry, this commentary is not available in your country. Please visit talksport.com/commentaries to hear an alternative stream or listen to TalkSport 2 for even more live sport.
TalkSport has so much sport, we're running out of radio to play it.
In fact, we've got enough rugby, cricket, horse racing, boxing, motor racing and golf for an entire other radio station.
And the thrilling games continue.
The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air. TalkSport 2, because sport never stops.
There ain't no stopping it now.
Get set for more live sport, more incisive pundit comment and opinion, and more Andrew McKenna.
Thank you very much. That'll do.
Sport radio that hits you for six. TalkSport 2.
Well, there's one ball and he's volley. He's dragged it back onto the stumps.
Tackling live Super League action.
Strong and hard and made of steel.
Live commentary of the UEFA Champions League.
Champions of Europe again.
Live Aviva Premiership Rugby.
They must surely score.
Golf coverage that's perfectly pitched.
We're not allowed to cry on radio. We're supposed to be tough.
Serving up live ATP Masters Series tennis.
And Andy Murray, with his head in his hands, goes to congratulate Novak Djokovic.
I'm so happy. TalkSport 2. Live international football.
What a goal!
Get in the ring. Go the distance. TalkSport 2.
And Fury's got it. A unanimous decision.
If you can kick it, hit it.
Goal it.
Pass it. Hot it. Hot it. Catch it. You'll find it right here on TalkSport 2.
The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air.
Can they make it two?
TalkSport 2, because sport never stops.
We're sorry, this commentary is not available in your country. Please visit talksport.com/commentaries to hear an alternative stream or listen to TalkSport 2 for even more live sport.
TalkSport has so much sport, we're running out of radio to play it.
In fact, we've got enough rugby, cricket, horse racing, boxing, motor racing and golf for an entire other radio station.
And the thrilling games continue.
The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air. TalkSport 2, because sport never stops.
There ain't no stopping it now.
Get set for more live sport, more incisive pundit comment and opinion, and more Andrew McKenna.
Thank you very much. That'll do.
Sport radio that hits you for six. TalkSport 2.
Well, there's one ball and he's volley. He's dragged it back onto the stumps.
Tackling live Super League action.
Strong and hard and made of steel.
Live commentary of the UEFA Champions League.
Champions of Europe again.
Live Aviva Premiership Rugby.
They must surely score.
Golf coverage that's perfectly pitched.
We're not allowed to cry on radio. We're supposed to be tough.
Serving up live ATP Masters Series tennis.
And Andy Murray, with his head in
his hands, goes to congratulate Novak Djokovic.
I'm so happy. Talk Sport 2. Live international football.
What a goal!
Get in the ring. Go the distance. Talk Sport 2.
And Fury's got it. A unanimous decision.
If you can kick it,
Hit it. Goal it.
That's it.
pass it, pass it, or catch it.
That's me. You'll find it right here on Talk Sport 2. The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air.
Can they make it too?
Talk Sport 2, because sport never stops.
We're sorry, this commentary is not available in your country. Please visit talksport.com/commentaries to hear an alternative stream or listen to TalkSport 2 for even more live sport.
Talk Sport has so much sport, we're running out of radio to play it. In fact, we've got enough rugby
exchanges, because I was talking to someone earlier on today, you know, if you lose a couple of goals in the first 10 minutes against this mob, you are in real trouble.
You are, because they're such a good counter-attack side, with so much energy. You know, it plays into Liverpool's hands. You've just got to try and, from Newcastle's point of view, wrest the momentum away from them and get a succession of passing together.
Well, they almost brought the ball out from the back, and then Gordon again is penalised for another foul down that left-hand side, this time on Curtis Jones. And it's going to be a free kick about 5 steps in from the left touchline. That's 2 now. He's not going to get away with a third one and escape without a booking. And we've only played 5 minutes.
Yeah, a couple of niggling little fouls. From the makeup of Liverpool's midfield three, we've already had Soboslai driving into an inside right position, going beyond the defence, and Curtis Jones.
It's a quick start from Liverpool. Newcastle looking a little bit tentative. They're holding a line on the edge of the 18-yard box here as the free kick comes in from the far side. 7 or 8 steps in from the left touchline now, taken by Soboslai towards the far post. It's caught by the goalkeeper, and it will be cleared away by Martin Dubravka. Newcastle were incredibly hard to beat last season. This is not the case this campaign. Boxing Day, they were pulled apart like the leftover turkey. That defeat to Forest, one of 8 Premier League losses this season. They only had 5 all of the last campaign. Well, that's a poor ball by Joel Linton, who came back on Boxing Day from a hamstring injury, straight to Luis Diaz, who hasn't scored in the Premier League since that equaliser against Luton. And it's eventually cleared by Cher upfield. It takes a little bounce and goes over the head of Konate, and then Isak will chase it, but Van Dijk does enough to get it back to Alisson, who's making his 250th appearance in goal today for Liverpool. And it's quite an illustrious list of goalkeepers that have managed that. Ray Clements on that list, David James on that list, Bruce Grobbelaar on that list. Here is Guimaraes into Gordon, who tries to slalom his way past 2 challenges, and then Joe Gomez with a rather lunging challenge inside the centre circle. And Gordon has gone down, and that is going to be a free kick. He drew that challenge with a little bit of skill there, Gordon. He was too quick for Gomez, who went sliding in and completely missed the ball. He was well late.
Yeah, it was. As I say, it deserved a booking, but it wasn't a bookable offence in the referee's mind, because Gordon had already made 2 challenges that didn't receive a booking, in my mind.
Yeah, so he couldn't then turn around and book Joe Gomez for that sort of challenge. We played 7 minutes. The ball from that free kick drifted towards the edge of the box. Byrne has kept it alive down by the corner flag. It was a little bit too long from the Brazilian Bruno Guimaraes, and a heavy touch from Joel Linton sends the ball straight out of play. The Newcastle fans have made the journey across from east to west. They're all wrapped up, standing up in the Anfield Road end, the newly opened Anfield Road end. It's taken the capacity up to 57,000. All Longstaff is going to get the better of Soboslai here as they attempt to play out from the back. They've given it away to Isak, edge of the area, space wide right for Lewis Miley, who cracks one. It's blocked by Joe Gomez and smuggled behind and away for a corner. Well, Liverpool a little bit casual, playing out from the back and handing an opportunity to Newcastle. And Lewis Miley maybe just took an extra touch too many, and that allowed Joe Gomez to get across and block the effort.
Yeah, as I say, it was a good ball out by Alisson, but Szoboszlai just took too long on the ball, and it was a good recovery challenge by Longstaff that set the attack in motion.
He's important, isn't he, Sean Longstaff? They're delighted to have him back from injury, and he takes this corner kick, which outfoxes the goalkeeper. He got a little bump off Bruno Guimaraes. I think the ball went straight out of the play anyway, and it's going to be a goal kick away to our left, and immediately dispatched upfield by Alisson looking for Salah, but his radar was off, his kick was rushed, and as a result of that, the ball goes back to Martin Dubravka via Sven Botman. and they are able to clear. Upfield, chested down by Canate in that centre circle. And the ball goes out of play over on the far side. It's a Liverpool throw. 0-0, TalkSport, 9 minutes played.
I tell you what, Newcastle have cleared the ball up to the centre forward on a couple of occasions, and for me, I'd like to see more of a physical presence. You're a lone striker in a game like this. Your team are going to get penned in. You've got to chase lost causes and be a little bit more aggressive, in my mind, to put pressure on the Liverpool defenders.
He's putting pressure on now, but it hasn't managed to yield him getting hold of the ball. It goes back to Alisson, then wide to the left and Virgil van Dijk. Liverpool have been top 14 of the last 23 nights, and staying there is what counts. And we've had 10 minutes of the Liverpool onslaught. Well, actually, it was only about 5 or 6 because Newcastle went up the other end and had a little test of their own, but here come Liverpool again down the right with Salah moving towards the edge of the area. They did score after 5 minutes on Boxing Day through Darwin Nunez, got off to a really good start there and actually could have taken the game away from Burnley and didn't manage it. Well defended by Newcastle, run it clear, and then Joel Linton is brought down about 6 yards outside his box, and it's away for a free kick just on the edge of the Newcastle penalty area. Jurgen Klopp all wrapped up in a big stadium jacket, got a snood on tonight as well. The waterproofs are out because it is teeming with rain here in Merseyside tonight. Good turn by Joe Gomez down the left. The return ball that sent him down the touchline. Brilliantly defended by Tino Livramento, who dives in, tries to play against Gomez, but it does go out for a corner to the home team. Interesting, isn't it, Gomez? His 233rd appearance for club and country, never scored a goal, but he has had 11 shots in his last 16 appearances, so he's certainly getting a little bit closer. But he's no left back, but he's being asked to play there because of the injuries to Tsimikas and to Andy Robertson, both of whom are going to be out for a little while longer yet. Corner far side, taken by Dominik Szoboszlai. The Hungarian whips it in right-footed right into the centre of the 6-yard box, punched away by Dubravka, recycled by Alexander-Arnold, steered clear by Livramento. It'll go to halfway and Salah will win it back for Liverpool and just feed Joe Gomez. Forward it comes through the middle of the park towards Luis Diaz, who's on the edge of the centre circle. A long raking pass by Endo out to this near side, inaccurate. Burn intervenes. Guimaraes brings it clear, and then it's stabbed out by Canate. It did come off Bruno Guimaraes last, but the linesman on the near side didn't see it.
No, he didn't. He definitely got that one wrong. I've got to say, the tempo of this game's been superb, hasn't it, Sam? You know, from both teams.
Yep, Darwin Nunez has just had his first touch. He's picked the ball up on the edge of the area. He's fed the ball out towards the right-hand side. Then got the return. Shot, brilliant save by Dubravka. Comes back to Jones, cleared off the line. Superbly by the defender. Fabian Schär getting in the right place at the right time. 2 big chances thwarted. Comes to the edge of the box. Endo with an effort, well wide of goal. Well, Darwin Nunez hasn't done much in the game, but he made himself a shooting opportunity there. Good save from Dubravka, and from the rebound, Jones's effort was blocked right in front of the goalkeeper by Fabian Schär.
Well, what set that up was the ball through the lines from Trent Alexander. A great ball into Nunez's feet. He got turned, and then from that moment on, it was panic stations in the Newcastle back line. And fortunately for Newcastle, they got players recovered into good positions.
A good chance for them. Then a fast start to the game for Liverpool on the front foot again, and the ball's drifted into the box by Salah, headed away by Schär. Up towards Joel Linton, who doesn't hold on to it, but Longstaff wins it back. And Livramento, who was terrific in the game that we went to in Paris when they played PSG and deserved a little bit more, has given the ball away after being harassed by Nunez. They'll have to defend a little bit like they did in the Parc de France, where they really had to earn their corn. Joel Linton earning his corn, going beyond Trent Alexander-Arnold, but was a little bit too physical. Is that right?
No. For me, no. There was one person going to get that ball first, and it was Joe Linton. And I think, like any good defender, Trent tried to take his ground in front of him. I wouldn't have given it that way. But just going back to Nunez, tracking back at sprint speed. And then from there, Salah sprinting at his fullback as well to shut him down, Sam. That's why they're such an effective team, Liverpool.
Absolutely. It's all about the team ethic, isn't it? And everyone has to do their job. Everyone has to work hard. If you don't work hard, you get hooked and replaced by somebody else. The good thing is Liverpool have the ability to do that. Longstaff spots the run of Gordon, but couldn't find the pass out towards the far side. The idea was Wright needed to go a little bit further wide. It was too central, and it was guided back to the goalkeeper Allison by Virgil van Dijk. Right, darts on the radio, absolutely brilliant. Over on TalkSport 2, Ian Danta, part of our commentary team there, and he does it brilliantly, and he's going to give us an update on what's happening now.
Big story developing here, Sam, because Michael van Gerwen, the world number 2, is trading 3 sets to 2 in a race to 5 to the man from Boston, Lincolnshire, Scott Williams, who's ranked number 52 in the world. He broke MVG in the 5th set with a 90 checkout to set up the set win. He only needs 2 more sets. Van Gerwen looks listless. If you take it in leg count, Williams is beating him 12 legs to 6. The action is unfolding live right now on TalkSport 2.
What about Rob Cross coming back from 4-0 down to complete a darting miracle earlier on today? He is live tomorrow on The Breakfast Show with Jeff Stelling. Tune your radios in from 6 o'clock. Jeff's got his hands full tomorrow. He's got Super Dean Saunders with him tomorrow. Dean, always great company. And he's on tomorrow with Jeff. That'll be a lively show. Looking forward to that. 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. TalkSport Superstar Breakfast. Jeff Stelling back in the Jeff Stelling MBE now, isn't it? I forgot. Yeah. Here is Guimaraes into Longstaff, trying to turn. Alexander-Arnold pinches the ball and wins it back for Liverpool high up, steered away by Cher to the middle of the Liverpool half, and then Virgil van Dijk returns it, sticks it down the right channel, and they've got to be a little bit careful here. Byrne realised that Alexander-Arnold was lurking on his shoulder, cleared it to Joel Linton, he brings it out, and then Guimaraes with a heavy touch, and then a little swipe at Wataru Endo, and it's going to be a free kick 12 yards back from the edge of the penalty area. They just had a little bit of trouble getting out of that defensive position there, Newcastle.
And they're totally surprising with the energy on the press that Liverpool offer you when they're out of possession. It's quite incredible. I'm just thinking, once we get we'll explore this a little bit more. Gordon playing on the right-hand side rather than the left-hand side. Do you think that's more beneficial? Because at the moment, Liverpool are still free-flowing down Salah's side of this pitch.
Yeah, well, it hasn't stopped Mo Salah, has it, in his tracks, that's for sure. You just wonder whether or not sometimes you're better off leaving your fast winger who does all the tricks and drags you up the pitch. And that sort of helps itself as the ball goes in towards the edge of the 6-yard box and it's headed over by Darwin Núñez. Sometimes giving your defenders something to think about actually will stop the flow of Alexander-Arnold and Salah coming down that way because they're too worried about him.
Well, whenever I used to play, if teams put against me a defensive player, that just gives me encouragement to go forward as a fullback.
Stuart Pearce, who knows what it's like to don the black and white stripes of Newcastle United. Here is Salah getting the better of Botman. He runs on the outside of him. Botman is backpedaling and he's into the area now and he clips it towards the far post and steered away by Cher. And he heads the ball out on the far side, the left, towards the left side of the box, and Diaz will recycle it. Liverpool on the attack once again at ferocious speed. They bring the ball forward and they're always a threat, and there seems to be so many of them. They flex back into a tight shape here, Newcastle, to try and repel their opponents. We played 17 minutes, 17 goalless minutes on TalkSport, game day exclusive on TalkSport. With Now, and don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action like Liverpool Newcastle United live tonight for $11.99, no contract. Search Now Sports.
When you get 2 minutes, just have a look at Hugh. He looks like a villain out of a Dan Brown novel.
Here's Núñez through the centre, played in beautifully, gives it back to Luis Diaz, and he fires the ball in and the offside flag goes up. Well, Liverpool stole the march there, and there was a decent ball forward into Darwin Núñez, who looked as if he was in behind, and then Luis Diaz went away to celebrate after he was given the ball by Darwin Núñez, but the flag was up very quickly on this near side.
I've got to say, this is really tight, just offside. But what I've got to say is Núñez, symptomatic of him, has got himself in a great position, but he just so long on getting the finish away. It should be one touch, two touch straight away. He's dallied on it, got caught, but Diaz followed up and said, this is how you put it in the net, my friend.
I did like those Dan Brown novels. They were quite rip-roaring, weren't they? Page-turners.
They were very good, actually.
VAR is checking to see whether or not this goal is offside.
Yep.
Because actually...
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it's tight. It's really tight. There is a player possibly at the near side playing him on. It's Dan Burn on this near side. We can't really see because once you zoom in so quickly, it becomes like a pixelated shape. He looks like a sensible soccer character from 1997. When you can tell who it was. It's very tight.
As they all are these days. I tell you what, the Lions folk this day and age get it right so often, it's incredible.
Yeah, they probably deserve more credit than they get.
100%.
It looks... I'm being told Sensible Soccer was earlier than 1997. Sorry, I didn't get the exact date. I think it's the 90s. What are we getting here? Offside. There we are. Offside. So after all that, it was a little bit more offside than even it looked on the cameras. So it's still 0-0. But that's a real worry for Newcastle. So far, got away with it. Here they come with Lewis Miley down the right-hand side, trying to feed the ball to the edge of the box. Comes back infield for Luis Diaz, who runs clear. He's had a goal chalked off. Well won that by Livramento. And then he played a poor ball infield to Miley, and it's been turned over by Szoboszlai, who plays it to Nunes, steps over the ball, comes through to Diaz. He goes down. Penalty kick, surely. Well, Dan Burn is pleading his innocence and saying that there was no foul. Luis Diaz went down in a couple of stages. They want a VAR check, Newcastle, but Anthony Taylor gave himself some thinking time. He consulted with Gary Bezic, his assistant on this near side, and he gave the penalty after about 2 or 3 seconds. The ball was played into the box. Luis Diaz juggled with it. It was a challenge by Fabian Schär, actually. He says he didn't get a touch on it. Burn let him go. And I'm not sure whether that is a penalty, actually, when I've looked at the replay.
Well, what I would say, I think there's been a slight contact there, which, you know, when you get him ready to put, Diaz is getting ready to put his left foot down, he's going such a high velocity, I think there's a little nick on it, which makes your landing platform slightly off-centre.
So are you telling me it's a penalty or not a penalty? Is there enough there for a penalty?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, well, it'll be reviewed by Stuart Atwell. There has to be clear and obvious evidence to overturn it, bearing in mind what we saw happen with John Duran. We haven't had any communication at this moment in time that it is even being looked at on the big scoreboards here. Well, not that they're big scoreboard, they're a little slither of scoreboards. It's something that I think they should improve now they've got their new stand away to our left-hand side. But we haven't had any communication from the VAR as to what that is. The key thing here is one, was there enough contact? If the referee didn't last 9 penalties. Comes back and it's fired over the top by Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's a really good save and not a great penalty from Mo Salah. That's now 4 of the last 10 that he's missed.
Well, Salah's hit that with good violence, left-footed, whipping it across his body. Oh, he's almost smashed it down the middle, but just off-centre, if you like.
It's too close to the goalkeeper,
It is, and Dubravka's done well. He's held his ground as long as he could, got 2 solid hands on it, but
who is going to go away to the AFCON, we assume, after this game, because they were supposed to be with their teams today, given dispensation to play tonight. And as a result, it is a still goalless game. Here is Luis Diaz down the left-hand side, but this Newcastle defence is living a charmed life at this moment in time. The ball's on the edge of the area. Jones with a shot, saved down low to his right by Dubravka. Well, they can't continue like this, Newcastle, or they will concede.
Well, I'll tell you what, as you've got to do when you come to Liverpool in any decade, your goalkeeper's got to be the best player on the pitch. And certainly at this moment in time, Dubravka is that for Newcastle.
It's not a great penalty, but it is a good save. And it's Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0. And Liverpool, who have drawn their last 2 here, snips that don't occur too often. They haven't drawn 3 Premier League games in a row at Anfield since 2017.
I think Liverpool show when Newcastle are back in slot, they're not well, they are threatened, but not as much as if you give the ball away in the mid-band of the pitch. That's where the penalty come from. All of a sudden you think you're in a good position looking to go forward, and Liverpool, the pressure they put on from midfield, front strikers all squeezing, sprinting at you to shut you down is incredible.
Van Dijk moves the ball out of defence into midfield, then up to the halfway line, clips it out wide towards Salah. Byrne comes across to engage. Salah goes infield, Byrne does engage. The ball ricochets into Newcastle's path, but again that pressure on from Jones, this time illegal pressure, gives away a free kick to Newcastle midway inside their own half. Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0 on Talk Sport. Remember, tomorrow we've got live commentary of West Ham United against Brighton. West Ham have got a few missing tomorrow, and you were a little bit concerned about that, weren't you, when you were going through the team earlier on today? Oh, that's a mistake. Lewis Miley's given it straight back down the left towards Diaz, and into the box it goes to Jones! And a challenge comes in. Brilliant challenge, recovery challenge by Tino Livramento to steer the ball behind and away for a corner kick. But they had a free kick, played it backwards as square, and then Lewis Miley casually gave it straight to Luis Diaz, and that was a mistake.
Well, this is Newcastle's undoing if they're not careful, giving it away in cheap areas where they think they're playing out and spreading to play, and Liverpool are so effective at pressing.
Corner far side. And whipped in by Szoboszlai to the edge of the area. Trent Alexander-Arnold has to chest it down and then funnel it forward. And then it's missed and it comes back to Virgil van Dijk, who hits it against on-rushing defenders. I mean, a few of the Newcastle players came out there thinking that they had the ball. They hadn't. It bobbled behind them. And that was another sloppy moment. It wasn't a great corner kick. They've taken another short one quickly. Back to Szoboszlai. That delivery's better. Konate goes up with a header. And it goes out and away for a goal kick. Konate, who hasn't scored for Liverpool since the FA Cup semi-final in April 2022 against Manchester City.
You look at Liverpool, they do not miss an opportunity to put the ball in the box from wide areas. They don't miss an opportunity to play forward between the lines, and they don't miss an opportunity to run without the ball as well in behind your back line, and that makes them such an effective side.
Blowing out of the cheeks by Jurgen Klopp as the ball goes forward over the halfway line. Little push in the back from Konate on Joel Linton. And then the ball comes back his way again. Alexander-Arnold dabs it down towards Konate, who hoiks it into the air. It's forward by Cher, and then poked further forward by Sean Longstaff. Van Dijk didn't realise that Gordon was coming behind him at rapid speed, and Alisson then kicks it out over on the far side. As a result, Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0, and they're just about getting through this, Newcastle. And they did say before the game they thought they were going to have to do that. Overall...
Ripetete con me, non ruberò mai più ai deboli né ai vulnerabili. Faremo scintille.
Ok, grazie.
Newcastle. Here comes Szoboszlai after miscommunication between Bruno and Byrne. It goes infield towards Salah, who tries to return it, and Bruno gets there and then doesn't get there as he goes scything in to Wataru Endo and gets a yellow card for mistiming the challenge.
Yeah, the referee doing his level best not to do any bookwork this new year, but on that occasion, just stretching, Guimaraes just stretching too much. I don't think he's pulled his leg away from it, but Endo made sure that he carried on the run, and it was minimal contact, but enough for a yellow in this day and age.
No one wants to do any admin at this stage of the year, though, do they?
Don't.
Unless you
really don't.
You know what I mean? 28 minutes gone. Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0. The only sort of adding up you want to do is how many quality streets are left in the bottom of the box. Not a quality street fan?
I'll have anything, to be fair. Anything that's under my nose gets gone.
Here's Alexander-Arnold towards the far post. It drops off Van Dijk's head and then hooked up by Konate, steered away by Cher up towards the halfway line, and it's back with Gomez, who switches the play from the left edge of the centre circle out to the right. Then it goes infield to Jones, and then Jones across to Szoboszlai. Now space for Wataru Endo. He might get a strike in here. Cuts infield, right-footed. It's a daisy cutter, which is easily blocked by Cher, and it's cleared out on this near side.
So you've just seen another instance there where it's Isak and Gomez up the pitch together. The ball gets cleared, and Gomez just comes through the back of Isak and deals with the ball. Little things like that, he's got to do a lot better for his team.
And there was an instant, you know, when Van Dijk headed the ball down, it hit Joel Linton. His arm was outstretched and it hit the top of his arm. I don't know whether or not VAR checked it, but there was definitely no pause in play here.
Well, it's in close quarters though, wasn't it? I've got to say.
Yes. I'm not sure whether that negates it, depending on how high and wide your body is. If you make your body unnaturally bigger, I'm told that distance does not come into it anymore. Here's Nunez, plays the ball back to Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai from distance strikes off the body of Botman, and then eventually it's cleared by Newcastle. It's all Liverpool at this moment in time. Half an hour gone in the game. Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0. Here's Szoboszlai trying to turn under pressure from Guimaraes. It's worked out to the wide right. Salah trying to beat Byrne. Plays it against Byrne. Keeps going. Still holding onto the ball despite the attentions of the big 6'7" man. Then he gives it away, and Joe Linton could be escaping here up over the halfway line. Pokes it into Isak, and now there's a counter attack on. Isak running towards the middle of the penalty area, plays a poor ball to Gomez, and then the poor kick by Alisson gives it back to Newcastle when they thought they'd cleared it. Isak onto Guimaraes, edge of the area, needs an outlet. Liverpool getting back in numbers now. Salah putting pressure on. The ball goes back to Bruno Guimaraes, into Joe Linton, onto Isak, through the legs, gets a return, into the area, left-footed shot, deflected behind and away. And wouldn't have counted anyway, because I think there was an offside flag up, but it was a really good move, the best of the match by Newcastle.
And it's not a good sign for Newcastle. Joe Linton's just sat on the floor. I think it's Joe Linton, yes it is. Oh, he's up again. That was interesting when you just come back from a hamstring injury.
Yeah, he's back on his feet again. It's currently Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0. Liverpool have missed the penalty. The latest odds are available at Ladbrokes, where right now you can get Liverpool at 10-3 on, Newcastle 17-2, the draw 19-5. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes, 18+. BeGambleAware.org. Shall we head off to the darts and Alexandra Palace? Here's TalkSport's Ian Danter.
And the intrigue continues, Sam, because at the moment it is Scott Williams 4 sets to 3 up on mighty Michael van Gerwen in this World Championship quarter-final. So the man from Lincolnshire only needs one more set to advance. It was 3-2 to him. Van Gerwen won 3 legs in a row to bring it back to 3 sets all. But he's just broken the throw, Williams, to hold double top, to go 4-3 up. A chance to get into the last 4 of the Worlds in only his second visit to Ali Pali. All the action's unfolding live right now on TalkSport 2.
Got a long drive tonight, by the way.
Long enough, yeah. 3.5.
Well, listen, darts on the radio, you know what you can do? With the TalkSport app, you download it, you can go back in the schedule and listen back to it. So on the way home, you can listen to the darts and pretend it's live.
Oh, thank you.
There you go. I'd like to be of service.
You're very kind sorting my life out for me.
No problem. I just like to give you a little bit of helping hand every now and again. I'm just pleased that now you can use a pair of AirPods. You can actually listen to the TalkSport app. You didn't even know it did that, your phone, until last week. Here is Jones down the right-hand side, motoring down into the right edge of the penalty area, plays the ball into the centre looking for Salah, flicked into the air, drops for Diaz. Diaz with a lovely bit of skill, but Miley's there to engage, and now Gordon for Newcastle looks to spring a chance to break, and he's done just that. Oh, Miley's rushed it. It's come back out towards this near side. He's got it back again, to be fair to him, after he took a big deflection off the side of the head of Curtis Jones. And Newcastle have it once again, but blimey, I tell you what, I'm terrified just holding on to the microphone. I think someone in red is going to press me for it. They're darting around, putting pressure on Liverpool. Here's Miley inside the area, picking the ball up but then losing control. It was a good move again by Newcastle, and Alisson's just determined to get it away because of a little bit of pressure from Newcastle. And certainly Newcastle turning up a bit of the intensity and pressure themselves now. We've played 33 minutes. It's a really intriguing game, this. You look at the statistics, 66% possession for Liverpool, 33 for Newcastle. More passes, more accurate passes. As far as shots are concerned, 14 already from Liverpool, just the 1 from Newcastle. 3 on target from Liverpool, none on target from Newcastle.
Yeah, and what will be worrying Freddie, I think, is when they have given possession away, Liverpool have been all over them and obviously created chances, and the penalty coming from that, from a turnover of possession.
It's like a siege every time a Newcastle player receives the ball. There's just red shirts over them like a rash. When they do get out, they can cause problems, and they could do here, because Joe Linton's is speeding into the box, and Anthony Gordon's cross is too big for him. The idea was right, but he just hit and hope, really, rather than trying to bend that ball into a dangerous area. The 3 of them, Isak, Joe Linton and Gordon, did get in behind there, and there was just an opportunity to test the 2 central defenders.
I'll tell you what, the last clearance from Alisson was magnificent. I don't think you give him credit for that. It's come across his body and heading towards his sort of left-hand side. He's chasing the ball and he's cleared it, stroke past it with the outside of his right foot, probably about 35 metres.
I agree. As soon as I said it, I saw it float into the path of Diaz and I immediately felt guilty. He did, you're right. He sort of shaped it with the outside of his boot, didn't it? And it just flew nicely into the path of Diaz. Bruno Guimaraes is back on his feet after he was fouled, and there was a quick free kick which was taken by Newcastle, coming down that right-hand side again with 10 minutes before half-time. Tino Livramento runs diagonally from left to right and then into the centre, gives it to Isak, skips past one challenge, and Jones was intervening and almost passed it to Joel Linton. It's a problem here because Darwin Núñez has outmuscled the defender and he's gone round past the goalkeeper and shot and blocked by Dubravka, who gets back at the second attempt. Comes back to Núñez again, right-footed, punched away by Dubravka again, and then comes to the edge of the area, and it's with Wataru Endo. Back to Alexander-Arnold, into Darwin Núñez once more, away by Longstaff, and still Liverpool haven't found a way through this stubborn Newcastle defence. There's a little bit more luck than judgment. I mean, Sven Botman has just been brushed off the ball by Núñez as the ball was played forward there, and he should have scored, shouldn't he, Núñez?
Well, what's happened is, because Liverpool are chasing everything, they put the fear of God into the Newcastle players, and it was the fear of being chased down quickly, made him panic and give the ball away, but Núñez should have done a lot better, no doubt.
Yeah, I think Botman could feel the hot breath of Núñez on his neck. Here is Alexander Isak getting the ball on the edge of the area, back to the far post, header into the net, the far post! An offside flag goes up against Dan Burn, who made the run down the left-hand side to steer the ball home. It was a brilliant header from Dan Burn, but the offside flag was up.
Yeah, it was Isak, I think, in the build-up. He's passed out wide. I thought he could have done a bit better in the pass out wide, if I'm being honest. Just off.
Just. Very tight indeed.
Again, the officials are fantastic at getting these right. I don't know how well they do it. And Joe Linton's gone down once again. And I tell you what, 3 strikes and you're out, I think. I'm surprised if he has got this groin problem.
Yeah, well, Joe Linton's down, receiving treatment once more. They are checking the disallowed goal for offside. And Isak and Burn are nervously waiting. Dan Burn, who got the header, is just, I mean, I think it's offside from looking at the pictures that we've seen. I don't think does it require the lines? I suppose everything has to, but it's going to take a long time when really I think we already know what the outcome is going to be. And sometimes you get surprised by these things, I don't know. This is TalkSport, and you are listening to Game Day exclusive on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has 450 branches with all the vehicles your business needs. Goal is offside. So both teams have had a goal chalked out for offside.
Well, Joe Linton looks as though he's coming back on. Now, this is the second time he's been down on the turf this evening. And when you're coming back from a muscular injury, you've got to wonder whether he's going to see the game out or even the half out.
Well, we don't have too much of the half to play now, do we? And it's Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0 with 7 minutes to go before the break. Salah on this near side. Joe Linton wants to come back on. Burns thundered the ball at the Egyptian in the left full-back position. It then bounced back to Longstaff, who's lolloped the ball out for a throw on this near side. I think the conditions are causing a bit of an issue as well. Swirly rain and wind just stopping the ball, holding the ball up when it goes very high in the air. I think that might be an excuse for Botman earlier on when Darwin Núñez was putting pressure on him. No, you're not having that, are you? I'm trying to be nice.
Sheer panic, sheer fear that you're being shut down by someone who's going at 100 miles an hour. That's what that was about.
To be honest with you, I was scared, to be honest, just standing up here. Here is Luis Diaz out to the left. It's played back to Gomez, who floats the ball into the penalty area. It's a little bit high. Comes back to Alexander-Arnold, who volleys the ball and he hits the top of the crossbar. From about a 5-degree angle, almost by the byline, he's volleyed the ball goalwards. It's taken a nick off the top of the crossbar and gone out for a throw-in. I mean, that is a sensational hit from Trent Alexander-Arnold, and he's almost caught the goalkeeper out.
Well, he's actually at the far post, yes, believe it or not, and not the crossbar, which makes it an even better effort from exactly, we're talking he's 1 metre from the touchline, outside the box on the right-hand side. An incredible strike.
The angle was impossible and his technique was sensational, and it went over the goalkeeper's head and just hit the top of the post, the sort of angle between crossbar and post on the far side, and then went out for a throw. It was terrific and so close to being a Liverpool opener. And they've had a few chances. Trent Alexander-Arnold's missed a good chance. Nunez has missed a good chance as well, saved by Dubravka, and they've missed a penalty in this first half. And Newcastle have had a disallowed goal of their own, as Liverpool have too, for offside, marginal offside. It's still goalless on TalkSport.
I've got to say, if Newcastle can get in the dressing room with Neil against them, they have done brilliantly well. And Liverpool, well, you're going to be thinking, how haven't we scored?
Well, he says he can't remember the first game of 2023. It was nothing to do with a New Year's Eve hangover. It was probably because his memory has just tried to erase the bruising encounter at Brentford that we brought you live last year on TalkSport. 3-1, they lost that game, and they probably could have lost it by more. It was a chastening evening, but the year just certainly got better. Here is Diaz, edge of the D, as they come forward again. Oh, he's a little bit behind Curtis Jones, and it will be cleared away by Livramento from the right fullback position for Newcastle. 0-0 the score. And again, they look a threat every time they come forward, Liverpool, and actually even when they are not coming forward, they're a threat. Here's Bruno Guimaraes, just skipping past two challenges and opening up the pitch, and he's disappointed that when he played it down the right side, Anthony Gordon hadn't gone on a dart, and as a result, Gomez was able to tidy up in the left full-back position and get it back to Alisson, and it remains 0-0.
I'll tell you what, Newcastle turn the ball over and they get it up, and they're probably midway inside their own half and think they're in comfortable possession. But Liverpool's press with 3, 4, 5 players at times, you know if they do turn it over, they're in on goal.
Well, Newcastle have turned it over. Salah wanted a foul. He was waved away by Anthony Taylor. Livramento's got it in the right channel, sends it back to Guimaraes, 10 yards from the box. Right side goes back centrally to Cher. They spread the play to the right, and it's on to Livramento. Miley goes on a dart in behind Gomez, then plays it into Gordon, who tries to roll the defender and slipped as he did so, gives the ball away, and here come the counter-attack, and they do counter-attack at speed, and Szoboszlai has run across Joel Linton, who's dragged him to the floor. Referee said play on because they've still got it. Everyone stop, but Diaz has found Salah, right edge of the area, sets it back towards Szoboszlai, whose shot is weak, and it's cleared away.
Well, there's a booking coming, Joe Linton pulling back there, but Liverpool once again, they sweep from one end to the pitch to the other, and well done to the referee. 2 advantages, kept the game going.
How on earth is it 0-0? It's been a New Year's Day cracker so far. We've had all sorts of fireworks in this game. We'll get back to the darts and Ian Danter.
Williams has just defeated Michael van Gerwen by 5 sets to 3, ranked number 52 in the world in his second World Championships. He's knocked out the world number 2, holding it for a double 16 checkout to take the match. Sensational stuff live on TalkSport 2. Williams knocks out van Gerwen. Chisnell, Luke Humphries next.
What a story developing on TalkSport 2. We could have a story developing here as well. Virgil van Dijk chasing down as the ball goes away to our left-hand side. Alexander-Arnold's casual clearance, propelled by a header. And in came Alexander Isak, running across the defender, and the ball goes out of play. They're complaining here to Anthony Taylor. Mo Salah's not happy because they haven't booked Joel Linton.
Yeah, and rightly so. I would have thought he'd have gone back to him and booked him. It was a ridiculous challenge, really, you know, and the referee's been very, very kind in offering out bookings to the players so far.
0-0. Corner to Newcastle United to be taken by Gordon on this near side. He is going to whip it in and do so right-footed. Actually, he leaves it short to Bruno Guimaraes. Back it goes to Gordon. Gordon tries to take on Salah, who's still protesting about that yellow card. It's poked down the left. Bruno Guimaraes keeps it alive. He moves towards the edge of the area. Gomez backpedaling. He's got some space. Well, should have played it back to Longstaff. He didn't. He ended up trying the hard pass, and that's led to a counter-attack. And off goes Salah. Szoboszlai. Poor ball forward. And it's cut out by Dan Burn. They've still got it, Liverpool, in the final minute of the half. Darwin Nunez runs into Longstaff, he robs it, and he clears it through to Joel Linton. But Joel Linton on his heels, beaten to it by Gomez. They've turned it over again, Liverpool. They move up to the edge of the 18-yard box, and Jones swirls round one side and then goes out the other towards the left and Szoboszlai. They're right up on the perimeter of the penalty area here. This game going pretty much from one end to the other very quickly, but usually spending a lot more time in the Newcastle half of the field than the Liverpool one. But when they do get the ball, they usually counter-attack well. That's a poor ball forward, though, by Gordon, but it's been given straight back to Livramento, who hasn't got an out ball, so has to hold on to it, try and drag his team up the pitch. He's then lost it. Alexander-Arnold's won it back, and now Curtis Jones onto Diaz, with Joel Linton coming from the other side. Play on, says the referee. It looked like a clear foul. And the referee now is absolutely furious. He's going to book Luis Diaz for arguing.
Well, they're up in arms, the Liverpool players, and I've got to say, it looked like a foul to me on the back of Joe Linton, who should have been booked a couple of minutes ago. That's a foul, to be fair. And I'm astounded at the referee not booking Joe Linton for either of the fouls.
Well, really and truly, that could have been 2 yellow cards for Joel Linton, couldn't it?
Well, I've got to give the player a little bit of credit. He wouldn't have made a challenge like that if he'd have already been booked, it's fair to say. But you've got to ask the question. I think the referee's been very good tonight in regard to advantages and that type of thing, but I'm flummoxed by those two decisions.
Here is Bruno Guimaraes trying to breach the lines, and he does it. Alexander Isak was in a great position if he had played the ball and just got his head up there. Guimaraes. Joel Linton striding forward, trying to bundle his way past the Liverpool defence. We've got 5 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. On TalkSport, it's still goalless. Mo Salah's missed a penalty. We've had a goal each disallowed, and it's been an absolute blood and thunder encounter. Lewis Miley's gone steaming in on Mo Salah. That's going to be a yellow card for the young 17-year-old. And Anthony Taylor is turning round and saying to everyone, go away, leave me alone, I will deal with it. Mo Salah's going mad. So is Szoboszlai. Miley's being spoken to. It's a yellow card.
Well, Miley's launched himself off the ground, but I think he's taken the ball. Salah's gone down, and his reaction, I think, is he's not lifted his foot in any way, shape or form. And Salah going down and rolling around a little bit has influenced the referee slightly. He's probably caught him on the follow-through. It is the follow-through.
The booking for.
Yeah, as I say, not much wrong there, but the players have got to help the referee out a little bit as well.
Mo Salah getting increasingly frustrated and screaming and shouting at the referee. Oh, now Jurgen Klopp is having a go at Andy Madley, the fourth official. And the ball is in the centre circle for that free kick, which is distributed upfield. And then Luis Diaz is tussling with Livramento, who comes away with the ball, plays it against the Liverpool defender and goes out of play and away for a throw-in over on the far side, the right. It is Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0. Fast start from Liverpool. Miley had a chance, missed it, blocked by Gomez at the other end. Nunez and Jones had good opportunities. Dubravka's made a save. He saved the penalty as well. And Trent Alexander-Arnold missed the rebound. There was an effort from Trent Alexander-Arnold that hit the post. It's been all action this first 45 minutes, but it's still somehow Liverpool 0, Newcastle United 0.
Tell you what, it's been a brilliant spectacle of football. The high energy, everything about the game's been fantastic.
Yep. Only went on the road for Newcastle in the Premier League was that thrashing of Sheffield United earlier in the season. Every other game they've either drawn or lost on their travels away from St James's Park this campaign. Konate is fouled. Free kick given. Liverpool had the ball and they wanted to play the advantage, but Konate's gone down. And when they did play the advantage, the referee said, now come back and play the free kick. And Jurgen Klopp again getting a little bit frustrated.
I've got to say, I'm delighted I'm a neutral in this game, because you'd get so frustrated if you're in the technical area, I think, when you've got a foot in either camp.
So far, those two camps have behaved themselves well enough to stay out the referee's notebook. I know they're not great friends. Ball into the area, might come through to Szoboszlai. Oh, Botman did just enough to stick out a foot, and it went through to Dubravka, and it steered it away from Szoboszlai. But he's looked a little bit rusty, Sven Botman, certainly not up to his standards, which helped Newcastle formulate that super defence last campaign, where they basically mounted their Champions League challenge on that solid defence. Byrne sliding back and manages to stop the ball from reaching Salah in the left fullback position. Miley forward to Bruno Guimaraes. It's into Gordon, who tries to hold on to it. He's engaged immediately by Gomez, then goes down, wins a free kick just over the halfway line. We're into the final minute of the first. Oh, that's it. A yellow card for Trent Alexander-Arnold. What for? Shouting at the referee? He's got to be careful because he's still doing it, and he's had to be dragged away by Konate. And I've seen someone be sent off in 2 minutes, or not even that, in about 7 seconds for 2 yellow cards in this stadium in the not too distant past. Diego Dallo for dissent.
Well, if ever there's a referee alienating the Liverpool fans, we've got one here tonight. They're absolutely livid with the referee, and he's made a couple of decisions that I can quite understand why that frustration is there.
Well, we've nearly played our 5 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. The ball's been drifted towards the edge of the box. It's taken on by Darwin Núñez, and this could be the last attack of the first 45. Forward it goes. Stopped by Byrne again, who's got back to intervene, and then given away by Diaz, who's slipped on the greasy turf. It's then thundered forward. And there's the half-time whistle. Well, it's not often that a referee gets booed when he's given you a penalty in the first 45 minutes, but that's what's happened to Anthony Taylor, because they feel as if they hasn't got the rub of the green from him. And I think they know the geography of where he lives his life, which is why he's getting chanted at by the Liverpool fans. Newcastle's away form has been truly shocking, but they could be the latest side to come here to Anfield and frustrate Liverpool, where the hosts are facing 3 draws in a row, unless they can come up with those customary late goals in the second half. Half-time of what has been a rather rambunctious first 45 minutes. Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0.
Oh, I've absolutely loved it, Sam. We've had a fast-paced, full-blooded encounter, no quarter given or asked. We are starting the year as we mean to go on with Anfield, a fitting backdrop to top-draw sporting drama. It's only the beginning. 165 days right here on TalkSport. Stuart Pearce, incredible tempo in that first half, right from the off. The only shock really is how we haven't seen a goal.
Exactly that. We talked before the game about Newcastle and the fatigue and this. Newcastle have had to play at high revs today because of Liverpool playing at an incredible tempo. The pressing from the front from Liverpool, the opportunities created, but when Newcastle have managed to get through that press, they've looked as though they've had a couple of opportunities to counter-attack.
Yeah, we had a couple of early chances for Liverpool really as they created all the early pressure. Luis Diaz had the ball in the back of the net. Darwin Núñez offside in the build-up. Then we had the penalty decision. Botman's foul on Diaz. There was a slight contact there, I think, on the left ankle of Diaz. You called it as a penalty in commentary. I agree with you on that one. It was never going to be overturned by VAR. There was clear contact which made the Colombian stumble. But when Mo Salah steps up, you're thinking it's in the back of the net. He's missed the chance for his 150th Liverpool goal. Martin Dubravka didn't have to do anything, did he?
Well, he stood his ground and he done pretty well. I think Salah's tried to go almost down the middle and sort of mid-band of the goal, but the goalkeeper's done really well, parried it out, and then Trent Alexander following it up. You would have put your house on him finishing off, and he skewed a hitch kick over the crossbar.
Yeah, that was another great chance for Liverpool. Newcastle didn't have many opportunities of their own. It felt they had, if they were just a little bit better with the ball, they would have had the ball in the back of the net. There was a clear opportunity for Darwin Núñez. All of these Liverpool fans exasperated with him. Botman misjudging a long ball. He's in on goal. He hits Dubravka rather than the back of the net.
Yeah, as I say, he's got to do slightly better than that. There's no doubt when he's got in on goal. That's the one thing missing from his game. He's got energy, honesty, a lot of things about him I really like. He's got to be a little bit more clinical.
Newcastle had the ball in the back of the net themselves. A disallowed goal from Dan Burn. Alexander Isak offside marginally in the build-up to that. But again, if Newcastle can use the ball better when they do get these counter-attacking opportunities, there is something there for them. You do feel it.
You certainly do. When they do get past that press, the five-man press, and they get beyond that, there are spaces. I don't think they've been clinical with their final pass. Isaac, I think, on a couple of occasions, he's set the ball out wide to players out, or sort of just coming into the box on the right-hand side. You've got to have sympathy on the ball. You've got to play a pass that the player can come onto it, whether it be Gordon or Miley, that can finish it first time. They've had to take touches on occasion.
Yeah, carelessness at times from Newcastle. They've also been guilty of maybe forcing it a little bit in attack, and that has led to more pressure coming from Liverpool in that first half. You'd have to say they marginally edged the territory and opportunities in that first half. The big one, of course, the missed penalty from Mohamed Salah. Liverpool had real frustration. The players, you saw it there just before the break, but also the fans here inside Anfield at the referee, Anthony Taylor. You've got to say, Alexander-Arnold, who was booked for just kicking the ball away, and then after the yellow card, he's pretty lucky that the referee had turned his back to note his name down, because there was a clear physical anger with the referee's decision to book him. We saw Diogo Dalot for Manchester United given a second yellow card a little bit earlier on this season. You know, Man United fans, I'm sure, will be screaming at the radio, where's the consistency there? But he is a lucky boy, isn't he, Trent?
Yeah, he certainly is, but I can understand it. Sometimes I get frustrated with players' reaction like that. On this occasion, I can understand why the frustration's built up. Joe Linton's made two challenges. On another day, you and I know that they're yellow cards, either of them. And the referee's just declined it. The one against Szoboszlai was just ridiculous, you know what I mean? He stopped an attack and just pulled him to the ground, and you've got to go back and rebook that.
I just don't know what to say now about this second half, Stuart. I want more of the same. If I could have three halves, I know I can't, but I would, because tonight we've had fantastic entertainment, and we're hoping for more. It's on the way. We'll be back with Sam Matterface alongside the former England defender Stuart Pearce very, very soon. You're listening to Game Day, Game Night now, exclusive on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org. We've had a pulsating first half, but no goals as yet. Live and exclusive Premier League action on TalkSport at the break here at Anfield. Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0.
Monday Game Night.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of June 2022 and 30th of September 2022 is under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Y'all ready for something new? Oh, you thought it was just burgers and fries. They got more flavors than you tasted or you heard in your life. Yummy. And it ain't only restaurants anymore. We can go bananas at the grocery store. I'm a bad girl for my takeout. I could cop a taco platter.
Talk about a blast from the past. The 1990s, when McDonald's started using 100% British and Irish beef in our burgers. Back when you actually had to leave the house and head to the arcade if you wanted to play a game with your mates. What a time. It's just one of the little changes McDonald's have been constantly making to the way we source and produce our food over the years. McDonald's. Change a little, change a lot.
Get set for the year ahead with a Screwfix winter sale. It's on now and packed with savings on trade essentials. From unmissable low prices on power tools, storage and landscaping, to must-have deals on hand tools and workwear. It's all in the Screwfix winter sale. Shop now on the app at screwfix.com or in-store. Don't miss out. Ends 7th of January. Screwfix, the choice of champions. While stocks last, visit screwfix.com for delivery charges and restrictions.
In sport, what's just as important as the goals, the glory, the roar of the crowd? Yes, it's the half-time break. Time for a breather, a reset. to keep everything on track. In sports betting, Betfair's safer gambling tools help you do that too. Like timeouts, so you take that all-important half-time break. Or deposit limits, to help you keep count. Manage your play at safergambling.betfair.com. Simple ways to stay on top of your game with Betfair.
18 plus begambleaware.org. Monday game night on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes. So if you've got a plan, we've got a van.
The unstoppable force of live football. On 1089 and 1053, medium wave, on DAB, online, and on your smart speaker.
Game day exclusive, New Year's Day special.
On TalkSport.
Absolutely fantastic entertainment thus far at Anfield here tonight. Live and exclusive Premier League action at Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0 at the break. The best opportunity to score in that first half. The penalty from Mo Salah, which was hit straight at Martin Dubravka. There was a great chance for Darwin Núñez as well, which the big man in goal for Newcastle managed to get a leg to and divert. At the other end, a goal disallowed for Dan Burn. In fact, Liverpool had a goal of their own disallowed early on from Luis Diaz. Very, very tight and tense here. Lots of anger directed at the referee, hoping for more of the same. Not necessarily the anger, more of the same action in the second half here at Anfield. We'll be back very, very shortly. And we're hoping the great entertainment continues at Alexandra Palace as well. Michael Van Gerwen is out. Scott Williams, Rob Cross and Luke Littler all through to the semi-finals. The question left is who will be joining them. Let's look ahead to the final quarter-final at the PDC World Darts Championships with Mark Wilson.
Yeah, cheers, Hugh. Luke Humphries and Dave Chisnell up on the stage right now. These two have had several meetings this year, 5 of them in fact, 4 of them in finals. Dave Chisnell has won all 4 finals, 3 on the Euro Tour as well. So Chisnell more than got the measure of Luke Humphries this year. But Humphries has been in great form on 3 major TV tournaments out of the last 4. He is flying, and with the news that Michael Van Gerwen, who he was due to meet in the semi-finals, having gone out to Scott Williams, Humphries may feel that the door is open. He survived match darts in his last game against Joe Cullen that went all the way to a sudden death leg. Will it be more of the same? Well, we'll find out. Chris Mason and Ian Danter with full commentary on TalkSport 2 of Luke Humphries against Dave Chisnell.
Mark, can you call this World Championship right now? Fate is a word that is often used when it comes to darts. Littler on a roll. Will it be the young man himself?
Oh, who knows? Rob Cross, former winner, he stands in the way of Littler in the semi-final, the first semi-final tomorrow live on TalkSport 2. Scott Williams will feel that he's got every right to win it given the performance he's just turned in. And does that put more pressure on Humphries and Chisnell now, knowing that they will be facing an unseeded player in the semi-finals? Whoever wins this is going to deserve it, and I don't think the twists and turns have ended just yet, and that's just for tonight.
No, absolutely not. Live coverage continuing over on TalkSport 2, so make sure you've got the TalkSport app downloaded. You can get it on your smart speaker. Just ask for TalkSport 2. It's available there on DAB as well. Loads of great action from Ali Pally coming your way. And we're going to have the World Championship semi-finalist Rob Cross with us on TalkSport Breakfast tomorrow. Jeff Stelling, of course, your host. He will also be interviewing and speaking to Liverpool legend and former captain Phil Thompson and the former West Ham forward Tony Cottee. Remember, West Ham against Brighton in the Premier League, live and exclusive for you tomorrow evening here on TalkSport. There is a bit of breaking news to bring you this evening in the EFL. League 2 side Colchester United have parted company with their manager Matthew Ebrington. He leaves the Essex side 22nd in the table. They've lost each of their last 3 matches, including a 1-0 defeat at home to Gillingham a little bit earlier on today. Okay, let's look ahead to the second half here at Anfield and get the odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus begambleaware.org.
Well, Liverpool are 9-4 on to win. At Newcastle, 8-1. The draw, 14-5. Mo Salah to score the first goal. That was 7-2. It's now been boosted to 4-1. And for a sending off in the match, it was looking a little bit that way. The players getting quite tense. That was 3-1. That is now 4-1. Those are the latest odds with Ladbrokes. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
So we're all set up for a grandstand second half here at Anfield. Liverpool hoping to go to the top, or they're already at the top, to extend their lead at the top of the Premier League to 3 points. They're ahead of Aston Villa on goal difference alone at this point in time. A win for Newcastle here would be their first since April of 1994. Let's look ahead to the second half. Alongside me, the former England and Newcastle defender Stuart Pearce. And Stuart, I've got to put you in the shoes of Eddie Howe for a moment here. You know, he has set up his side in a certain way. They haven't executed perfectly. What do you do with the game plan, having watched that first 45 minutes, if you're him?
I think key to me will be don't get counter-attacked. There's probably been about 4 instances where Liverpool have counter-attacked and looked as well. They're so good on the counter. You can't let that happen. You can't concede a goal in that manner. Also, as well, playing out from the back, they've got to be really careful. In the mid-band of the pitch, Liverpool press so aggressively. They've turned the ball over a couple of times and threatened accordingly. But the flip side of that is, if they can keep physically matching Liverpool, they'll have opportunities once they play through the midfield press. And they've had opportunities, they've just got to be a little bit more clinical with their final pass.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You know, I did speak briefly at the end of the first half about Newcastle not using the ball as well as they could have in terms of their attack. But Liverpool, in a way similar in terms of the disconnection between Diaz, Nunez and Salah, you know, especially with the two behind them, Jones and Szoboszlai, and their ability to create. We haven't really seen a fluid connection between Liverpool's front five. How can they improve on that?
Well, let's be honest with you. Liverpool have just gone out, delivered a performance of 45 minutes where they've missed a penalty, missed a couple of really good chances. They've had 18 efforts at goal, 5 of them on target. As a manager, you've got to look at your team and say, I'm not sure I could ask more from you. You know, if they go and deliver that again, the law of averages will suggest they'll get at least 1 goal, I'm sure.
Well, if they need reinforcements, Diogo Jota, Cody Gakpo on the bench, Alexis McAllister returning, Gravenberch there as well. No Callum Wilson on the bench this evening for Newcastle United. Kieran Trippier out as well. Maybe a little bit less in terms of those forward areas for them on the bench. I wonder if that will be the difference in the second half, and it should be a great one as it stands. Liverpool going 1 point clear at the top of the Premier League table. The second half is with the former England defender Stuart Pearce and TalkSport Sam Matterface.
Underway at the start of the second half, and Liverpool attacking the goal away to our left in this second half. Newcastle all in black and white stripes and black shorts and white socks, attacking the Kop end after they turned Liverpool round in that first half. It is 0-0, but Liverpool had 18 shots in the first half, the first time that they've had 18 shots in the first 45 minutes of a Premier League game since April 2016 when they played Everton, and in that game, Stuart, they were 2-0 up. In fact, it's only once in 20 years have they had more than 18 shots without scoring in 45 minutes of football. I mean, it was an anomaly that they didn't get on the score sheet.
Yeah, it was an impressive onslaught, there's no doubt about that, and as I say, really unfortunate not to have hit the back of the net in that period.
Jones has it on this near side. No changes at half-time as Liverpool come forward again. Wataru Endo has it just left of the centre circle, plays it infield. It's given to Alexander-Arnold and then back to Szoboszlai. So Liverpool have in goal Alisson, then the right back is Alexander-Arnold, who was booked. Konate, Virgil van Dijk and Gomez are the back 4. Then it's Wataru Endo, Szoboszlai and Jones in midfield with Salah, Nunez and Diaz coming forward. And here is Nunez, edge of the area, bumped off the ball by Dan Burn. They want a free kick, they're not going to get it. He's right on the edge of the box when they did that. And Newcastle tried to bring it clear, but then ran into Szoboszlai. The ball's been turned over on the edge of the centre circle, and it's worked out wide towards the right, collected by Salah. Salah moves up towards the edge of the area, gives it back to Trent Alexander-Arnold, who swells across into the box, taken down by Nunez, couldn't turn on it, and it's away by Botman and over to the halfway line again.
He really is scruffy with his passing and his touches, Nunez. If he actually had a little bit more clinical work with his feet, my goodness, he would be an effective striker.
Is that something he can tidy up?
I'm not sure. Some of it's between your ears, speed of thought, that type of thing, I've got to say. But listen, he's genuine, he chases things, he gets himself into good positions, and then he just takes too long on things, or the first touch isn't correct.
Well, he certainly will remember the first meeting of the season between these two. Despite trailing, Darwin Núñez scored in the last 10 minutes to give Liverpool the points off the bench. And they have a bit of a thing over Newcastle United to Liverpool. They were the only team to beat them home and away last season. They are 14 unbeaten against Newcastle. Newcastle haven't won here in the Premier League since Andy Cole and Rob Lee helped them to a 2-0 win in April 1994, the 16th of April 1994. Joel Linton goes down the left, moves towards the byline, then cuts it back. It goes through the legs of Curtis Jones, and he drags him back again, and he gets away with it again. Referee says play on, and here comes Szoboszlai through the centre circle, out wide to the left, taken on by Luis Diaz at pace. He runs laterally, skips past one challenge, plays it to the right. It's Núñez into Salah, it's into the back of the net, a tap in front of the Anfield Road end. And those two conspire once again. Núñez provides the assist. Brilliant, actually, to pop it through the 6-yard box for Salah to score his 150th Premier League goal for Liverpool. His 17th of the season. Once again delivers at home here and puts Newcastle on the back foot finally. They threatened to open them up several times in the first half. They missed a penalty, they had a goal disallowed, they missed several chances. Now they think they have finally got themselves on the scoreboard, and no surprise that it's Mo Salah who's put it home.
Well, on that occasion, the ball, they've swept literally from box to box, Liverpool. And Núñez was the one, it played up to him. He was the one who held it up, set up play. He was the one who got in the box and laid an absolute clinical pass on. We're just talking about the ability to lay that clinical pass. Núñez demonstrated he certainly got it in his locker on that occasion.
That's a good goal. Jurgen Klopp celebrates.
It's a great team goal, that, Sam. Really is.
Well, I'll tell you who also appreciates that, Roberto Firmino, who's back here today, watching on as Mo Salah goes and sits behind the goal and takes in the applause. It's him who sat on the advertising hoardings, and it was 14 seconds from when Liverpool got the ball on the edge of their box to scoring the goal. It was such a fast break, and they do that so very, very well. And Joel Linton at one end was pushing and pulling and tugging. Referee allowed play on. Liverpool went up the other end and got their reward. They lead by a goal to nil. And actually, the referee probably deserves credit for that.
The referee's played a couple of very, very good advantage. Admittedly, it can be pulled up on a couple of instances where yellows should have been shown, but the game's flow.
Yep, and it's Liverpool who lead, and they're flowing at this moment in time. They finally have their goal after having 18 shots in the first half and not managing to score. They're on the scoreboard now. Mo Salah with his I think it's his goal or assist in 18 of the last 19 Premier League home games. The only one he didn't manage one was in that Manchester United game, but he's managed one here this evening on Merseyside.
And you talk about whether they can afford to let Mo Salah leave the club.
Here he is on the far side, low ball into the near post, it's funneled away by Dubravka. Dubravka just about managed to get it clear. It comes back out to Trent Alexander-Arnold, then goes wide again onto Salah. Salah with a little bit of help, but he's steering the ball through the legs of Joel Linton. He tries to poke it away, comes back to Diaz, back over the top. Salah through towards Núñez, great save by the goalkeeper. Dubravka makes an instinctive save from Darwin Núñez to stop the second certain goal for Liverpool. And again, they didn't clear the ball properly. Luis Diaz sent it out wide towards the Liverpool right, popped back in by Salah, who returned the favour to Darwin Núñez, and he couldn't steer it home. It was a bit of a sort of hit and hope, really. He just threw himself at the ball, but Dubravka made a really good save.
Well, the intensity of this game, and we said earlier about Liverpool, no matter what the score is, they chase the game to get another one and another one.
Núñez in behind, tries to go and shoot towards the near post. I think that might have been offside anyway, but they're not going to give it. So it goes out for a corner kick. Good save by Dubravka again, and Nunez actually has missed a big opportunity because he got in behind down the right channel, shot towards the near post, and it went over the top.
Yeah, Newcastle just reached for the substitute now. I think Almiron's coming on. I wonder whether it'll be Joe Linton, who's, well, hasn't been booked yet, unbelievably, but...
And he's had injury problems as well.
Yeah, if it's not him, I wonder whether they'll put Gordon out on that left-hand side, Almiron on the right-hand side, and tuck Joe Linton in and bring one of the three midfielders off.
Well, it's going to be 7 defeats and 8 unless they can find a goal. Corner kick delivered from the near side. It's headed into the air by Dan Burn and out the other side once again. It's with Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's crossing towards Nunez, loops towards the goal. And he's headed it high into the air. It goes over the top of the crossbar and goes out and away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. You're listening to Talk Sport, and we are live at Anfield. And Liverpool have got on the scoreboard, thanks to
fans are getting irritated. They've got their blood up. They're right at the front of the Anfield Road stand. They're all taking their tops off and swirling them around their heads. They believe they can get something here. They can dig in and fight for something. But the atmosphere is terrific, Stuart Pearce.
It certainly is. The ball spends very little time in the mid-band of the pitch. It's either in one box or the other box. It's just a brilliant game of football to watch. High energy, the players, everyone who's contributed to this deserves a pat on the back.
And a clash of styles as well. Liverpool with all the possession, Newcastle trying to defend diligently, and by the way, riding a bit of the old Donald Duck. Here is...
I'll be interested to see the stats for the Liverpool team, you know, at the end of the game, when you look at high intensity runs, distance covered, all of those types of things.
Ball into the box is headed away. Liverpool come on the attack. Wataru Endo shields that box and stops it from being cleared by Newcastle. Back they come down the left, Liverpool, with Jones, who cuts infield. And it's picked off by Cher, and he plays it out towards the left-hand side. Then it's returned by Szoboszlai. He's found Alexander-Arnold. He goes back infield towards Szoboszlai again. They're hemming Newcastle in once more. All the challengers are firing in, but Luis Diaz gets there, shoots. It's saved, comes back out to Darwin Nunez, and then it's rescued by Sean Longstaff, and he clears the halfway line. He doesn't even reach the halfway line because Virgil van Dijk is back on it, and they're back on the attack once more, Liverpool. The Red Sea goes waving towards the Newcastle goal once again. It's non-stop attack from Liverpool, wounded by that quick equaliser that was conjured by Isaac. It's Nunez down the left side. Across comes the defender, goes out to the right fullback position. They eventually play it off Gomez, and it goes out for a throw-in on this near side. It remains 1-1 after 63 minutes.
Well, this might be the difference between whether you're Premier League contenders and not as Newcastle. I look at Newcastle's bench and I think, who can they bring on to, if they're chasing the game, need a goal and that type of thing. With no Wilson, you're not sure. Liverpool at this moment are bringing 3 players on, and all of them have got the opportunity and certainly the credentials to turn the game in their club's favour.
They have Cody Gakpo, Diogo Jota and Ryan Gravenberch all coming on for Liverpool in the next few moments. Here goes Wataru Endo, down to Szoboszlai. It's away by Dan Burr, but only as far as Salah, right angle of the penalty area. He's trying to get in the box. He tucks it back. Endo's cross. It's Nunez with a header wide. What a chance, 7 yards out, rose highest in the box, glanced it towards the far post, did almost everything right, but didn't get it on target.
Well, it was a beautiful ball in there, just lifted in nicely, and Nunez has climbed really well and just helped it on its way, basically, and it's just gone past the far post by a fraction. I'm not sure I'd want to be Jurgen Klopp making a substitution, because I don't think anyone deserves to come off, if I'm being honest with you.
Nunez is coming off, and so is Luis Diaz. And Diogo Jota, Gakpo and Gravenberch coming on. Szoboszlai is the other one who is being replaced.
I mean, the energy the 3 coming off have put into the game has been absolutely super, you know. Klopp will be looking to win this game and extend the points difference at the top of the division, I'm sure.
Yeah, with just a draw, it'll only be 1 point their advantage over Aston Villa. It will be 3 points if they get all 3 points here. Cody Gakpo goes up to play on the left-hand side. It will be Salah on the right. It will be Jota as the sort of false 9 in the middle. Let's see what happens over the course of the next few minutes here on TalkSport. It's going to be a long 25 minutes for the Newcastle defence, you would expect. 1-1 the score. Alexander Isak with the only shot that Newcastle have had on target, equalising after Mo Salah had given them the lead. Liverpool missed a penalty in the first half. Here's Salah again, moving towards the edge of the box. It's saved by the goalkeeper, pushed goalwards by Jones. There was no real venom in that push forward by Jones, and it was saved again by the Newcastle defence rather easily. There was a poor effort from Jones. There's a foul on the far side on Anthony Gordon, and a yellow card is going to come out here. And is that Wataru Endo or Konate who's been given that?
Looks like Endo, I think.
Yeah, I think it was Endo. Yeah, he made the foul. I know that
Konate was the one who was gobbing off at the referee and then went sheepishly back into his position. And the referee's been more inclined to punish dissent than he has anything else so far in the game. So many opportunities for Liverpool that they haven't made pay. And they have to be careful because Newcastle do create a lot of chances. They head the XG table this year, which tells you that they create so much. They probably deserve more points than they've actually got over the course of the season, Newcastle.
And they probably just got to try and keep getting this ball to Gordon, because he is the one, that outlet on the left.
Oh, that was a late challenge by Bruno Guimaraes. Surely a yellow card. Oh no, it's Joe Linton. It is Joe Linton, sorry. I thought for a second there that because the yellow card was coming out, it couldn't possibly be the Brazilian Joe Linton, but it was. They both dyed their hair light in the last few months, and he went sliding in and he picked up a yellow card for a challenge on Konate. It is his 27th foul, so it's probably about time.
Jurgen Klopp's having a chat with Mr. Madley, and I'm sure, I think I quite understand what he's saying, because Joe Linton has just been incredible. He's waded in and booted and pulled everyone.
Ball sent out towards this near side, and it goes out of play and away for a throw in to Liverpool. Toss back in to Curtis Jones. Jones turns it round the corner, finds Gakpo. Gakpo goes back infield, and it's collected by Gravenberch. Gravenberch back infield to Endo. Endo to Gravenberch. Oh, he's miscontrolled that, and it's taken off his toes by Almiron, who's escaped, and escaped quickly, and he's got real rapid speed as Miggy Almiron, and poise, and he's turned and played it back into Bruno Guimaraes, and now Joe Linton has got it. Left side is Anthony Gordon. He's lifted the ball out to him. Gordon's gone on to Byrne. Byrne in the left wing position. Newcastle on the attack. The ball in towards Alex Zizek, and it's half cleared, and then it's taken away by Curtis Jones, who does brilliantly to weave away from Almiron, and now they're looking to... Oh, Joe Linton had to be very careful there because he went flying in on a challenge as Liverpool threatened to break. And I tell you what, he might have hurt himself, but he almost got himself in serious trouble. You know what you were talking about, that stuff that's between the ears? Here is Salah down the right side as Newcastle backpedal again. Dan Byrne does brilliantly, and then the ball goes out of play and away for a corner despite Dubravka's best efforts. I mean, it's just an absolutely unbelievable game. It's non-stop action. And we are on the edge, aren't we? Everything is being played on the edge.
Exactly that. It's a cauldron of noise here at Anfield, and Joe Linton there, he slid in with a challenge where you thought he's going, he's off, and he just gets a nick on the ball that keeps him on the pitch. But if he sees the game out, my goodness me, well, it'll be incredible.
Well, Newcastle have become rather leaky. They've conceded 2 or more in 8 of their last 17 games. 69 on the clock, delivery in towards the near post, it's headed away, but it comes back towards Gakpo, brilliant save, down low, Konate can't get there, Gravenberch over the top of the crossbar from the ricochet, which takes the ball to the edge of the box, he then volleyed it goalwards, it went over the top. I mean, Dubravka, I tell you what, he's had a really tough start to replacing Nick Pope, and if you go back and look at Newcastle's demise, it coincides with that 85th minute injury to Nick Pope. They've lost 6 of 7 since he was out of the team, but he's been magnificent tonight, Dubravka.
Listen, he was man of the match after about 25 minutes, you know, let alone what he's done since. I mean, he's got his hands, great save there, down low to his right-hand side, and when the ball's been flicked out at all, they've managed to get players there to block the secondary.
Gordon's got it again, right-footed, trying to run towards the edge of the box. He shoots straight down the throat of the goalkeeper, and it's cleared away. Newcastle haven't been great at fighting back before today. They've taken just 1 point from losing positions, and they haven't won any of the last 9 Premier League games in which they've conceded first. The last time they did so was back in April when they beat Southampton. Maybe today could be the day. Things seem to be going their way. Talk about having a touch of New Year fortune. They certainly had that over the course of the 70 minutes we've had so far. They have a throw-in on the halfway line. And it's with Guimaraes, who immediately is engaged by Curtis Jones. He's then fouled by Curtis Jones. And that's going to be a free kick just left of the centre circle.
Well, it's going to be a war of attrition, that is for sure, in these last however many minutes, and chances are we'll have a fair dollop of extra time as well to go on top of this.
I said to you before that Newcastle were top of the expected goals charts, and it does depend what model you look at. Some will have them top, some will have Manchester City top. It's very incremental between the two, but Liverpool are going to be getting up there by the end of the day, because their expected goals for today's game is 4.25. And they've only scored once. I think that sort of tells you, and I must tell you, that Newcastle's is 0.32, which sort of gives you a fair indication of the balance of power in this game.
Well, the good thing is our eyes haven't deceived us.
No. And defending is an art too, and it is to be rewarded. And if a team does it well, then so they should be able to get something out of a game like this. They've had a bit of luck as well. Dubravka comes out, grabs the ball in front of Salah, plays it to the left, and in the left fullback position, the ball is sent on towards Gordon, who absolutely sells Trent Alexander-Arnold, a dummy, and then gets the return from Isaac, and he's running at Konate. Konate's trying to get back at him. He goes down, and the referee says it was a dive from Anthony Gordon.
Yeah, it was. As I say, he's done brilliantly. He's given a great give and go with Isaac, and he's got him behind. He's just decided to try and buy a foul. Well done, the referee.
72 on the clock. Liverpool 1, Newcastle United 1 on TalkSport. And we're with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has 450 branches with all the vehicles your business needs. And you can hear the fans behind us trying to get behind their team. They might need them. Remember, Liverpool have a high propensity of scoring late goals. They've scored the most goals late on in matches. In fact, if I remember rightly, I think they've scored 15 goals in the last quarter of an hour of matches and 6 in stoppage time. So Newcastle will well know that the danger isn't past yet.
Well, that's it. I mean, we spoke earlier about how Liverpool just go after the game, irrelevant to the score. They don't see games out. They just keep going and keep going and keep pressing for another goal after goal.
1-1. Jeff Stelling back on breakfast tomorrow on TalkSport. We'll review this game. I'm sure he'll enjoy it as the ball goes towards the edge of the penalty area. Newcastle intervene once again. Botman this time. And look at the space for Anthony Gordon over on that far side. And when they do go for it, they sometimes leave a gap. It's angled the ball in towards the far post, looking for Longstaff, who runs into the penalty area, goes down under a challenge. Wataru Endo committed that challenge. The referee says play on, no penalty.
I tell you what, really slick move by Newcastle there, and Longstaff took it on his chest but just couldn't get any control on the ball.
Well, there was a little bit of contact between the two. Ball into the box towards the near side. It's played in towards Jones, and Jones goes beyond the goalkeeper. Shota taps it to him, and he tucks it into the empty net. He looks over his shoulder just to check to see whether or not he's offside, but he thinks he's timed his run to perfection. Newcastle can play to the referee, but Jones has tapped it in from 4 yards out. Dubravka has finally been undone, and Liverpool take the lead again.
Well, two goals from Liverpool, both very, very similar, well worked, taking that extra pass for a little tap in. And as I say, that's typical of Liverpool, the options they've got in the front area of the pitch, and Jota was instrumental in that goal.
Went out wide to Salah. Salah into the box. It's on to Jota. There's no suggestion of offside for me, and it's tucked in by Jota in the middle of the park. Again, from one end of the pitch to the other.
Exactly, really clinical play, and what Liverpool do, they bring different types of forward type players on. You know, Jota's a slightly different animal to Núñez and Diaz, and it's paid dividends.
Goalkeeper went rushing out there to meet Jota. Was that the right decision?
I don't think he's got any other opportunity. The bottom line is, you know, Jota's going to shoot. He's going to have to narrow the angle down. It's just a brilliant move.
Wataru Endo has been taken off, and Alexis McAllister, after 6 games out, is on the field of play for the final 15 minutes. Curtis Jones with what could be the winner, but Almiron is in behind here, and Gordon's at the far post, and Almiron is in the box, and he's got it left-footed, and he's ballooned it. He's cut back in on his left foot.
foot inside the area and he's ballooned it over the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, this season he's got 1 or 2 decent goals, but as of recent times he's just lacking something when he gets into these advanced areas. He's either got to keep driving on and use the right foot to slide it across the face of the goal, or alternatively Longstaff is to support him run. But this game's not finished by any means.
15 to go. A brilliant seesawing encounter in which basically the balance has been tipped very much in Liverpool's favour throughout, and only latterly have they managed to take advantage. There's another goal in the 75th minute. It might have been 74 actually. So another late-ish goal for Liverpool, who lead by 2 goals to 1. The latest odds with Labrets, where right now you can get Liverpool to win the game at 10 to 1 on, 55 to 1 for Newcastle to come back and win it, 15 to 2 the draw. It's all thanks to Labrets, 18+begambleaware.org. Gakpo down the left side on the attack for Liverpool once again. Into Gomez. Gomez turns it infield. Jones, the goal scorer, gives it back to Alexis McAllister, and then they keep the ball ticking over. I mean, I think Eddie Howe probably will take heart from this performance. Here is Gakpo playing it into the centre. Defensively, they've been I know they've conceded 2 goals, but they've shown great fight in the game, even if they end up coming away with nothing here. I think more so though, Liverpool will take heart from it. It's been tough. You know, they've had to beat the luck as well as the Newcastle defence, but they've done it so far. But there's still a way to go yet. So loud inside here now.
It's just fantastic. The emotion with all the players, the manager, Jurgen Klopp's beating his chest and flailing his hands.
Salah goes down the right for Liverpool, into McAllister, then back to the left. It's collected by Curtis Jones onto Virgil van Dijk, and then back in field it goes. It's Talk Sport, and it's switched out towards the far side with Liverpool on the attack again. Salah chests it down, bends it into the centre. Gakpo is there and bobbles it home. It's 3-1 to Liverpool now, and surely the points are safe this time. Cody Gakpo with the 3rd goal. Mo Salah with a brilliant bender with the outside of his foot to open up the space in the middle of the 18-yard box. Gakpo stole in and bobbled the ball, not the truest contact, but enough to steer it beyond a stricken Dubravka and to make it Liverpool 3, Newcastle 1, and give the scoreline a fairer reflection.
I'll tell you what, it was McAllister slowed the play down there, slipped it out to Salah, and then Salah's ended up outside of the left foot across the face of goal. It was a miss hit that done for Dubravka, and this is the weight of bringing substitutes on with pedigree, really, you know, and that's the difference between Liverpool and Newcastle at this moment. And if Newcastle are going to chase being a top 4 consistent team, they're going to have at least options on the bench.
Quite tight when I saw it on the replay. VAR is now checking whether or not it is offside or not. I mean, that is so tight. Just give the goal.
That's onside. That's onside.
I think he's onside because of this fella up here.
Yeah.
It looks onside from the vision that we've got. I mean, you know, we have another delay. Players have to wait around in the freezing cold and the swirling rain.
Listen, they need the rest. They've been running around.
Yeah, we all need a rest, actually.
High revs.
The heart rate's gone up. Yeah, there's a goal. Look, which is what we told you about 2 minutes ago. 2 goals in 4 minutes, 8 seconds. And Liverpool lead by 3 goals to 1. So let's go off to the darts. And Mark Wilson.
Yeah, Luke Humphries leads Dave Chisnell by 2 sets to 1, but Chisnell just missed tops to level up the game. The winner of this one, remember, will play Scott Williams, who earlier on beat Michael van Gerwen in the quarter-finals here tonight. It is Luke Humphries 2, Dave Chisnell 1. It's live on TalkSport 2.
Here come Liverpool again. It's Gakpo into the penalty area. It's Salah reaching for the ball on the right-hand side, but steering it straight into Dubravka. The dance continues over on TalkSport 2. Mark Wilson may have told you that, but we couldn't hear him inside this stadium. Couldn't hear anything. It's absolute bedlam on Merseyside, and it's 3-1 to Liverpool, who 18 shots on the first half. In the second half, they've continued their surge towards the to Longstaff, whose cross is blocked. It goes out for a corner, and it's a Newcastle corner in front of the Klopp.
Did you just say 12 shots, 9 on target?
I did, yeah.
I bet you that stat has rarely been matched or bettered.
And that's just in the second half.
Yeah.
Here is the corner on this near side to be taken by Longstaff. Can Newcastle get themselves back in the game? They might do. It's a brilliant header from the corner, sent in by Botman, who rose up higher than anyone else and sends it into the far corner of the net. And this Premier League classic takes another twist. Newcastle back in the game with 10 to play. A towering header from Sven Botman.
It was some header, I've got to say, but he had a free run at it. And if you get a free run and you can jump above people that are static, you've got every chance on the 6-yard box. A fantastic header. I've got to say, it was a fantastic header. One person wanted to head that, and he went with aggression. Now, all of a sudden, we've got a situation. This could become one of the classics of all time once again.
Jamal Lascelles comes off. Dan Burn comes off. Lewis Hall comes on. Jamal Lascelles comes on. Joel Linton finally gets hooked. I'm surprised actually it's Eddie Howe who got to take him off rather than the referee. But he has been replaced. Trent Alexander-Arnold. It says here Trent Alexander-Arnold has just been booked for dissent, but I think he was booked for dissent in the first half.
Yeah, he's been booked before now.
Maybe they've we're just getting information on our commentator information system. Maybe what they've done is clarify why he got booked in the first half, because he was allegedly booked for delaying the restart earlier. Maybe they're just clarifying that it was dissent that he was booked for. It was definitely dissent. I remember him doing it.
Yeah, Newcastle just gone to a 3, change of shape here. They've gone to a 3 at the back, 2 wing backs. Hall and Livramento, they can have to get forward and supplement the lone striker.
All given away cheaply by Livramento. Onto the left it goes with Jones. 3-2 to Liverpool. Into the box they come. It's picked up by Bruno Guimaraes. Got to get rid of it. It's like a hot potato. Dan Burn comes out towards this near side. And it's cleared away down the touchline.
You're telling me Dan Burn come towards this near side. He sat on the bench, my friend.
Sorry.
The excitement of this game.
I was in between looking at screen and looking at football pitch at the same time. I apologise. Here is Isaac. He's still on the pitch. So is Lewis Hall. He's over on the far side. Isaac delayed in giving it to him. He's given it to him now. He's moved up towards the edge of the penalty area. He's poked it back, but he's hit Gordon and then given it away to McAllister, who sent the ball forward at rapid speed. And he's split the 2 defenders and found Jota. Jota up against the goalkeeper. Sits him on the floor. Goes down. Wants a penalty. Gets a penalty. Well, he didn't put it into the net, so you can only suggest that it was contact. A yellow card has been given to Dubravka. The Anfield crowd want a red, but a penalty and a yellow card has been given.
Well, listen, just when you think you're going to get a breather in this game, it just goes to another level. Jota's run the length. I'll tell you what, it's a dive. That will get chalked off, in my opinion.
I think there's contact, and I don't think it will get chalked off. It looks like a dive.
No, there's no contact at all there. And that's delayed reaction.
It is a delayed reaction. I think it's a dive, but I've seen penalties given for that tiny bit of contact with the bottom of the elbow. There's a little bit of contact from the bottom of the elbow, and I think that they will use that as an excuse to give it. I think that's an absolutely scandalous penalty if it's given.
Well,
because it's a delayed reaction and he could have finished it off.
Yeah, I'm not giving that. If I'm in the VAR hub, I'm telling the referee, go and have another look at that if I were you. And then decide for yourself.
Well, I mean, it's contact with consequence, isn't it? He made a genuine attempt to play the ball, which is why he's not going to get a red card. But the referee is waiting after a VAR check. Stuart Atwell is looking at it in the VAR room. Are we going to have another penalty here? I think we are. I think they're going to give it. And Dubravka can't believe it, but I think they're going to give the penalty here. Still, Anthony Taylor is saying, get out of the penalty area, get out of the penalty area. Wait. We haven't had any communication. No communication to the crowd, again, about what's going on here. But they have given the penalty, Stuart Pearce. What do you think about it?
Well, personally, I wouldn't have given it. I would have given the first one in the first half, but I certainly wouldn't have given that. I don't think there's enough in that, and the delayed reaction, the player could have stayed on his feet and carried on. And yourself, what would you have done?
No penalty. Mo Salah places the ball down. Dubravka stand on his line. Salah has already missed one penalty, and he has, as I mentioned before, missed 4 of the last 10 penalties that he's taken in the Premier League. He's placed the ball down to take on Dubravka again. This certainly to seal the points in the 86th minute. It's Salah steps up, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, and Liverpool now can decide to have their New Year's Eve party tonight. And a send-off for Salah before he goes off to the AFCON. A brilliant game of football, which Liverpool now surely have finally won. A scoreline that reflects the game, and a scoreline and a match that reflects the historic nature of this iconic fixture. It's Liverpool 4, Newcastle 2.
Well, Sam, this game was magnificent in the first half, but all we lacked was a goal. We certainly had a feast of goals in the second half, and it was Jota once again. He's got one, he's assisted. He's gone through on the goalkeeper, a fantastic run from him through the centre of Newcastle's defence. They'll be disappointed with conceding the penalty in the manner that they did.
It'd be interesting to hear from Eddie Howe on that as well, because last year they were given some iffy decisions during this game, this fixture, and they ended up losing it. And it was another great game between these two, but it was decided, I think, by big decisions. This year, I think he'll feel that decision to give a penalty, again, has robbed him of a grandstand finish. Darren Bent, the drive time host for TalkSport, has just tweeted, it's never been a penalty. Here is Salah down the left-hand side, looking for his hat-trick, gets it onto his left foot, tries to steer it towards the far post. It's blocked and run clear on this near side. 88 minutes, Joe Gomez wins it back, brushes Gravenberg out the way. He goes down, Almiron is not penalised, referee says play on, get up. Guimaraes back to his centre half, Botman manages to clear. 4-2 to Liverpool on a brilliant night at Anfield. Guimaraes out to the left-hand side, steers the ball to Lewis Hall, comes back infield, sends it to Bruno Guimaraes again. 88 on the clock. How many minutes are we going to have stoppage time?
Well, in all honesty, I'm here all night, to be quite honest with you. If they carried on serving this feast of football up and energy and entertainment, it's fantastic.
Oh, it's been brilliant.
I think Newcastle have missed a trick by changing their formation and taking Gordon away from that left-hand side, you know. He's in the traffic and he receives the ball a lot less now. He is the main threat.
How many shots have they had on goal now? 13 in the second half, 10 on target. Overall, it's 32 shots, 15 on target. They've got the highest XG I've ever seen in a football match, 6.77. That's outrageous.
Absolutely brilliant.
I think that's the highest ever. In fact, I'm pretty convinced it's the highest ever. Here is Longstaff with a challenge, a late challenge, and he gets a yellow card on the halfway line as a result. 03717 223344 is the number to call if you want to speak to Jamie O'Hara and Razor Ruddock tonight. They're on the sports bar, and that will be a great listen on the way home. And this has been a great listen. Absolutely brilliant. Listen to this, the noise of the Liverpool fans who finally think that they've grasped victory. It hasn't ever been certain, has it? Because every time they've got themselves in front, they've come back at them, Newcastle. We're going to have 7 minutes of added time at the end of the 90, so we still might have some late drama. It might not be over yet. Konate strides forward. He plays it towards his left-hand side. He's knocked to the floor by Cher. Cher gives away a free kick. All the scarves are above the head. They're twirling them, the Liverpool fans, over their heads, singing the European song. Allez, 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 as they go on another march. They're going to lead the top of the table by 3 points tonight, thanks to this victory here
at Anfield, unbeaten in 22 Premier League home games after this, one defeat in 52 Premier League home games here, 13 games unbeaten in the Premier League, 3 points clear, and Newcastle are full. They've scrapped, they've tried desperately to show their teeth when they've had the opportunity. They've got on the scoreboard twice. You get on the scoreboard twice at Anfield and don't win, you're always disappointed. But they have faced more shots, I think, in this game than they're probably going to face for the rest of January.
It's been a super game, and Liverpool, a la Liverpool, are still going forward and still looking for another goal.
It wouldn't be Liverpool unless they did. To be fair, the only thing we need now is a Newcastle goal to make it 4-3 and just make it traditional Liverpool-Newcastle fair. These two. It's been a great night of football. And Newcastle, though, in danger of slipping badly again. 7 in 8, and here is Isaac trying to speed away as the ball's sent back to him, and he almost got in behind Konate now. Interesting, they've got Sunderland. That's a massive game now in the FA Cup because they need to start winning matches. They go away to the Stadium of Light. That's a real difficult place to go, especially with Sunderland winning today, live on TalkSport earlier on against Preston, in what was another good victory for them. And they've done well under Midfield. They're into the playoff places, 40 points from 26 games now in the Championship. Here come Liverpool again. Salah into the edge of the area. It was a poor ball cut out by Cher. It'll be picked up by Alexis McAllister. 92 on the clock. We're into the second of 7 added minutes at the end of the second half here. And after that game against Sunderland, they have Manchester City at home and Villa away. Two of the toughest games you could possibly have, Newcastle. So you could be in a situation in a couple of weeks where the pressure is starting to build a little bit on Newcastle. And you do hope that if things don't improve, it's the owner's response to invest in broadening the squad before looking at the manager, because they have a very thin squad, don't they, Stuart?
Well, a direct comparison is this game, Sam. Liverpool have brought 3 players on in one hit that have all got the opportunity to turn a game, win a game, blah, blah, blah. Newcastle have made substitutions, and apart from Almiron, I'm not sure any of the others are there to actually turn the game round and win the game.
93 on the clock. It is Liverpool 4, Newcastle 2, and Jamie O'Hara and Razor Ruddock will take your calls straight after we finish. 03717223344. You'll hear from both managers in the sports bar, as well as it is open for business on New Year's Day. The only bar that will be open that late tonight, that's for sure. Lewis Hall kicks it clear. Oh, misfield by Jones, and Almiron was coming back from an offside position, so couldn't challenge him. It goes back to Alisson, and it's cleared away by Liverpool.
This just shows what Liverpool are all about. They're 4-2 up with no time at all on the clock, and Trent Alexander, the right back, is in the front line looking to score.
Well, at least they're fun. Here's Gordon winning it back, trying to move it forward, stopped by Alexis McAllister. Back into the midfield they go, but Gordon's got it back again and shifted it onto the right. His ball's a little bit heavy, and it goes straight to Virgil van Dijk, who closes the angle. Across comes Livramento, we can't read it, and it's cleared away. And they fired it forward through Gravenberch into Salah. Salah racing into the box now. He's got Jota in the centre, but he wants to go on his own. He shoots, he bounces up to Jota anyway, takes a touch, shoots, bounces off the defender and goes behind and away for a corner.
Another stat there, 2 efforts at goal. Add that to your list. Incredible, great switch of pass, and you're thinking to the defender, don't let him inside, don't let Salah inside, you're in big trouble if you do. He comes inside, but they just managed to have enough recovery to block the first one, and then Jota's attempt.
Out comes Trent Alexander-Arnold to take the corner to rapturous applause from a thankful Liverpool crowd. I don't think he's getting that from the Newcastle crowd, but he's conducting the orchestra now, arms wide, turning round, drinking in the applause as Liverpool look to go 3 points clear at the top of the table. A right-footed corner in towards the near post, headed away by Botman. Picked up by Jones, who comes back out towards this near side. Here is Jones once again.
Jones on the score sheet tonight, not the only one. Salah, who's got 2. Gakpo on the score sheet as well. As Liverpool look to go for a 5th goal, they send it out towards the right side. We played 96 minutes on TalkSport. Salah still fighting over on that far side. God, they're going to miss him when he goes off to the African Cup of Nations. The other's going to have to step up. We've got big fixtures to come, including that semi-final against Fulham, which will be live on TalkSport. That's coming up in just over a week's time. They play Arsenal on Sunday live on TalkSport in the FA Cup. A couple of cup fixtures for Liverpool before their league campaign takes them away to Bournemouth, where they had trouble last year, and then they'll entertain Chelsea at the end of January here at Anfield.
I mean, you look at the substitutes that were made, and the one person who doesn't come off is Salah.
Here is Almiron trying to go forward down the right. He's brought to his knees. The referee gives a free kick 10 yards short of the edge of the penalty area, and it's going to be a free kick for Newcastle. 4-2. Can they get themselves on the score sheet? Can they launch the ball into the box and try and smuggle one in to really make it an interesting last 90 seconds? Well, we shall see. There's only 30 seconds left on the clock, but you know what these games are like. The clock's never over until someone really wants it to end. Here is Bruno Guimaraes to whip the ball into the area at the far post. Lascelles is up from the back. He chests the ball down. It's loose inside the area. Van Dijk reacts and sends it wide. It's cleared upfield, and Salah's on the attack. He's the one that stayed up. Lewis Hall trying to get back at him. He runs up towards the edge of the area, puts it through his legs, goes into the area, still going, beats the defender, tries to pop it home, and a free kick is given against him. And the Liverpool crowd, they're unhappy. They want him to get his hat-trick, so they're furious with Anthony Taylor, who eventually calls a halt to proceedings. It has been a feast for the senses. Liverpool start the new year with a victory that gives them a 3-point cushion on top of the Premier League. 12 months ago they started with a bruising encounter that ended in defeat to Brentford. This year they're absolutely buzzing. It's been a terrific, terrific football match. They thoroughly deserve their lead. They thoroughly deserve their 3 points. 34 shots, 15 on target, an expected goals total of 7.2, which is basically stratospheric. It's an unbelievable attacking display from Liverpool. They flexed their muscles here against the Newcastle side, who have now lost almost double the number of games that they lost last season. It's 1 defeat in 31 Premier League matches for Liverpool, and that's why they're top of the Premier League. Brilliant. Liverpool 4, Newcastle 2.
It doesn't have to stop, does it? Extra time? On call? Something more, please. It was just a ridiculous night at Anfield, and you never want it to end. A big win for Liverpool here, and Anfield is on fire. These fans absolutely buzzing. They are up for the title, and the Reds on this showing will take some stopping. Unbelievable. Liverpool with their hard-earned victory here, well deserved, moving 3 points clear at the top of the table. That's the biggest lead that any team has had in the table so far. That's how tight this title race is, as Anthony Taylor is booed off the pitch. The referee, they got the win. What more do they want? I don't know. Anyway, Newcastle gave everything here tonight. They applaud their fans away to our left-hand side. They stay 9th in the table, 29 points from 20 games, 4 points off 6th place West Ham. It is now 5 defeats in 6 league games for Eddie Howe's side. Liverpool, conversely, moving up 3 points clear of Aston Villa. You can have your say on just a crazy night here at Anfield, right here on TalkSport. Sports Bar coming up very, very shortly. Jamie O'Hara and Neil Ruddock, the former Liverpool man, will be with you. 03717 223344 is the number to call. Stuart Pearce, what do you think about that? What a game.
I would use one word to describe Liverpool tonight: relentless. In their endeavours to win a football match and score goal after goal after goal. It was a brilliant game. Newcastle played their part in it, matched Liverpool. They had to, with energy and stuff like that, but Liverpool deserved to win the game. There is no doubt about that. It would have been a travesty if they didn't. But what a fantastic game to be part of, to watch. What a spectacle.
Jurgen Klopp is now running around the Liverpool pitch and in customary fashion punches the air and he gets the cheers in return from the crowd. He's actually just bent down, picked up a blade of grass from the Anfield turf. He's kissed it to the camera. He's absolutely loved and lived every moment here inside the stadium here this evening. He couldn't watch Mo Salah's penalty at the end. He got the roar of the crowd when it hit the back of the net to let him know the game was just about sewn up. Unbelievable scenes.
I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable. I was just trying to do a bit of research to find out what was the highest ever Premier League XG, right? The Premier League's highest ever combined XG in a match was on Boxing Day when Manchester City beat Leicester in that match. It was, I think the highest XG was 6.58 was the highest combined XG. Combined, that's the two teams together. Liverpool got 7.27 tonight. I mean, that just shows you how mad this game was.
It was all about the tempo, though. That set the platform then for them to be able to do that. You know, you watch a team like that here tonight. It was unbelievable.
Everything. They just didn't stop. They were relentless. They were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And you know what? I've been saying it for a while. I think they have been the value bet for about 2 months to win the title. I think if they've got so much attacking power that they can win the title. Of course Manchester City are going to come back. Of course Manchester City are going to put them under pressure. But I think Liverpool have got mentality, resilience. Look how many late goals they score. Yeah. I think they're terrific.
Well, are we watching champions in the making for you, Stuart? Particularly when you look at that strength for the bench to change the game late on in the second half?
It's a strength from the bench that impresses me. They've got 5 players there that can all come on and influence the front end of the pitch. They can pull Núñez and Diaz off, who didn't do badly in the game and didn't really deserve to be taken off. But you can throw Jota on, Gakpo on, and you've got a different type of attack on your hands. And that that's the difference between Liverpool and Newcastle. Newcastle did.
Barnstorming half here. To be honest, it could have been 4-2 in that first half. There were that many shots. Couldn't believe there wasn't a goal. And in the second half, you have to say, we spoke about him before the game. He's heading off to the Africa Cup of Nations with Egypt. They will sorely miss Mo Salah, who was involved in virtually every goal here tonight. All right, he scores the penalty, wasn't involved in the build-up, but for all 3, he either scored, had a key pass, or made an assist. It revolved around him, and that is why you almost fear for the title bid if he misses 5 or 6 Premier League games.
Yeah, certainly that will be the case. And the one thing, when Jurgen Klopp makes changes, he doesn't take Salah off. Why doesn't he take him off? Because if the scoreline switches and they get nervous moments, he's your insurance policy that can get you a goal from absolutely nothing.
There were some beautiful goals in that second half, to be perfectly honest. We spoke about the link-up with those Liverpool forwards. They brought it in the second half. Núñez to Szoboszlai to Diaz, back to Núñez, then to Salah. 1-0, 150 Premier League goals up for the King of Egypt. Then we saw on the break straight afterwards, we couldn't quite believe it, a simple pass. All right, perfectly timed from Gordon to Isak. Lovely finish to make it 1-1. The sub, Diogo Jota, came on, involved for the second for Liverpool, laying on her plate. Curtis Jones taps into an empty net. And then Salah assisting for another substitute, Cody Gakpo. Scuffed the finish, but again, had the goal right in front of him, gaping, and he put it away. A brilliant header from Sven Botman reduced arrears to 3-2. We saw that incredible pass from McAllister. That put Diogo Jota away. And I'm sorry, VAR has to ask the referee to check that decision, because you didn't think it was a penalty. I wouldn't have given it. Sam Matterface wouldn't have given it. Whether it should have stood or not, it certainly should have been checked by the on-field referee. And I don't know why the VAR in Stockley Park didn't ask him to do so. In the end, it didn't affect the result. But it's another one of those decisions that Howard Webb and the PGMOL are going to have to explain to us, like they seem to be doing far too often. Some big games coming up for both of these sides. Sunderland in the FA Cup third round for Newcastle next. The first Tyne-Wear derby since 2016 will be live here on TalkSport Saturday lunchtime. They'll then face Manchester City in their next Premier League game. Liverpool facing Arsenal in the FA Cup. That's live on TalkSport for you on Sunday. They'll then have the first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final against Fulham. Their next league game will be at Bournemouth on the 21st. So important matches ahead for both of these two sides. Before we round up and head to Sports Bar, let's pick our man of the match on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day.
Stuart Pearce, the floor is yours. Who have you gone for?
Well, I'm desperate to give it to Mo Salah, but Mo Salah's got an assist on the man of the match because it's Dubravka, and he contributed to Dubravka being the man of the match. Listen, the goals XG 7+, that tells you everything, I think. And if it wasn't for Dubravka, saved the penalty, kept Newcastle in it and competitive, I've got to go to Dubravka.
Magnificent night for him. Fantastic that you've chosen him despite Liverpool's victory. He did everything he could to keep the ball out of the back of the net, but 34 shots? Impossible for any goalkeeper. He certainly earned his salt tonight. He's our man of the match from today's game with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes, so if you've got a plan, we've got a van.
Did they get the same level of entertainment as we did at Ali Pali tonight? The darts is all rounded up for us. Mark Wilson.
Yeah, more dominant performance here, but it's Luke Humphries who's through to the semi-finals. He's beaten Dave Chisnell by 5 sets to 1. The pair exchanged sets early on with Humphries leading 2-1. The key moment came in the fourth set. Twice Chisnell missed darts to level up the game at 2-2. Twice Humphries checked out. He led 3-1. Then in the fifth set, which contained 8 maximum, and both players averaged over 110. Humphries took out 1-2-1 to lead 4-1. He strolled through the last set to wrap up a place in the semi-finals. He'll take on Scott Williams tomorrow. Early on, beat Michael Van Gerwen in the other semi-final. Rob Cross will take on the teenager Luke Litter. Another big night of darts tomorrow night on TalkSport 2.
Mark, thank you very much. Well, that is it for an incredible night at Anfield. 6 goals scored, Mo Salah, the star for Liverpool, as he has been on so many occasions. It was a crazy, wonderful game of Premier League football, and maybe proof that Liverpool do have what it takes to win this Premier League title. You can react to what you've seen and heard this evening with Jamie O'Hara and Razor Ruddock on the Sports Bar. The number to call, 03717 223344. You will hear reaction from both Jurgen Klopp and Eddie Howe. But it's a happy new year indeed. Liverpool, with goals from Jones, Gakpo and a Salah double, beat Newcastle by 4 goals to 2, live here on TalkSport.
Monday game night on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Rent from the best lineup in the UK. Enterprise has 450 branches with all the vehicles your business needs.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel.
Morning.
The kids building a treehouse in the garden.
I'm living my perfect childhood.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of June 2022 and 30th of September 2022 is under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Y'all ready for something new? Just it. Oh, you thought it was just...
Hello guys, congratulations to Liverpool team and congratulations to this is the best way to start the new year, guys. Happy New Year to every one of you. Happy New Year to the Liverpool players and happy New Year to the Liverpool fans. Guys, what a wonderful game, guys. And at the end we have the win, and at the end we have the final win that we want. Guys, first half was so tough. First half 0-0 goalless, guys, but the second half was so fantastic. I see different Liverpool team. I see a team that wants to win, a team that is that they have all the quality to win. Guys, I'm so happy for this result, and I'm so happy, guys. And now we are at 3 points on top of the table. Yeah, I know we still Man City still have a game in the hand to play, but I believe that this season Liverpool will win the title. Guys, just let me know in the comment section down below what do you think about Liverpool winning the title. because to me, I believe that Liverpool will win the Premier League. I see this Liverpool team winning the Premier League. So guys, you just have to let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think about this team? What do you think if these Liverpool players are 100% fit to win the Premier League? But guys, all the same, the most important thing now is that we find the right man, because now Mohamed Salah, we have to go for the Africa Cup of Nations. Yeah, we know it's a bit painful because losing Mohamed Salah in this moment of the league, it's not the right moment to let Salah go. But yeah, he have to defend his country as every players normally do, being a European or an African. Guys, we know that it's not that easy, but yeah, I can say I still believe that without Salah we can still do it. Yeah, despite Salah scoring 2 goals for us, making a difference, bringing the difference, we know that with Salah in the attack, as a top goal scorer, that will one of the best top goal scorer that play in Liverpool so far and in the Premier League, guys. But I still believe that Nunes have to take a step up to start scoring goals, because that's why we sign him. That is why we pay a lot of money for him. So we have to start scoring goals, and I hope that this Liverpool team and these players have to work together in the rightful sense and the rightful mind to start bringing result. And I love to see that result. I want to see Liverpool win the Premier League this season. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think about Liverpool winning the Premier League this season? Because I'm tired of hearing about Man City. Guys, we are one of the biggest team in the world. We are one of the biggest team, and we have one of the greatest manager that ever coached the game in Anfield. Guys, I believe that your club can make something happen. I believe that it can make something happen. He already have the mindset to make things happen, and I believe that it will make things happen. And I want to see this Liverpool team winning the Premier League, because I will be so happy if we can win the Premier League this season. So guys, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think about this Liverpool team winning the Premier League, and what do you think about the January transfer window, as the January transfer window is already open officially. So let me know if there is a position that Liverpool have to sign players to be forced. Yeah, we need the players, and the Mbappe saga going on. Guys, that is a story for another day. I don't want to push into Mbappe matter, but you know what? I'm so happy for this great result. First half, no, but second half was different, and that is the result I want to see. That is the Liverpool team that I want to see, and I'm so happy. I'm so grateful for this wonderful result from Liverpool and from the players. And Mohamed Salah scoring 2 goals. Yeah, he have a chance to score the third one, but there is a little bit of upside down from the, I can say from the team, from the away team. Guys, it's supposed to be a red card, but no. But despite missing the penalty, but he have the opportunity to score the third goal apart from the penalty. So guys, Mohamed Salah, when they say king of Egypt, yeah, it's really a king of Egypt, because this player have already shown himself every day and every game that is one of the best. So guys, if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, kindly smash the subscribe button, like this video, and follow us for more news and more updates. So happy New Year to every one of you, as I have to greet you all, and this is the end of the streaming. And I will be publishing video about Liverpool transfer market gossip and updates surrounding players, and I bring my own thoughts about players that Liverpool can sign, about players that can fit into a Liverpool team. I will be bringing those kind of video in the next days. So guys, don't forget to smash the subscribe button, so that anytime we publish a video, you will be one of the first to have it. So smash the subscribe button and like and follow us for more news and more updates.